Wah, 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 wah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to CLOBBERIN Times, issue number 294 on YouTube, but number 394. Sorry, 994. I can't count. I don't know numbers. I can't see. I can't do anything right. 994 overall. Oh, my good friends. Great to see you there, everyone. I'm so happy to be back here for Saturday Night Star Trek. I love it. And that I love even more. The wee. And she always springs it on me when I'm not. You think I expect it by now, and I don't. I always forget. I'm never ready for it, and I love it every time.
That's the whole point of it. I love it. You're like, hey, do you want me to give you a spot where you do that? I'm like, heck no, I just enjoy it.
I love it. Oh, everyone say hello to the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, Commander R.M. Briggs. Welcome, number one. Love you.
Oh, it's so great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And you know what? I really missed all of you this week. I'm excited about tonight's show. It's just such great company, just a great crowd, a great topic, and my Star Trek soulmate by my side. Let's do this.
Yes, indeed. We're going to have some fun tonight. A quick note, something that, again, everyone, hey, look, this is not aimed at anyone. It happens sometimes. It's rarely ever happened to me, but I just want to say, there was some political chat in my chat tonight, and we don't do any politics here at CLOBBERIN Times ever. It got put in again. The hard feelings, whoever did it. I know who did it, and that's fine. You're okay. It doesn't matter whether I agree or disagree with someone's politics. Here, we don't do it. It's all about Star Trek or whatever geekness we happen to be speaking of at the time. So I would appreciate it all if in future, no politics whatsoever. And you're good. As long as you just keep that in mind, we appreciate you and appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. It is great to see you all. Writing the names down. Hopefully I'm catching everybody from when we start saying hellos in a minute. First up, though, of course, always like to let my wonderful first officer tell us of her magnificent works of science fiction that she has out there.
It's incredibly kind that you allow me to promote my stuff in your space. I love you so much. I think you are such a kind and generous person, and you have helped promote my work. And I don't know how to thank you. I'm reaching readers who I wouldn't normally reach. I'm getting feedback from some delightful, intelligent people who've just said some outstanding and wonderful things. I just first want to say thank you to everyone in this community who has purchased my work. And I just want to thank you for offering your space up to promote my writing, Clubby. I love you.
Well, thank you so much. I love you too. And Fandom Outsider, that's exactly right. The only politics we can argue is Federation, Klingon, Romulan, Dominion, all that stuff. Yeah, we'll definitely get ideological about all that.
Yes, for sure. We definitely want to do that. So
we'll be biased for sure on that stuff.
Yeah. So if you would like to buy some science fiction stories for under $1, I think they're only 74 cents American, and they're sort of done in the style of Philip K. Dick, H.G. Wells, Edgar Allan Poe. I could sure use your support. And I love you for helping me out as an indie artist. It's not easy to get short stories published in this day and age. Publishing houses aren't really interested in them unless you're an established author. So this space that you guys have made for me and the things that you've done for me, it's just incredible. It's a great honor, and I love you for it. Thank you, everyone. Just go to Amazon and just type in RM Briggs, and you can download it on any device.
Well, absolutely, and I love helping you out with that. It doesn't help you that much, but anyway, we can't help you. We love you. And we've got a big crowd here tonight. Should I do my show notes and then we'll do our hellos or what?
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Then. Let me find them first. Oh, yeah. All right. Show notes, everyone. Monday night. Oh, well, first, actually, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm honored to have been asked as a guest on Mr. Culture Casino's show tomorrow.
Hey,
that is tomorrow. That's Sunday. Yeah, and he is a great, an awesome fellow, and has a great channel that I'm sure most of you know about. And I can't wait to go hang out with him because I've never been on there before, so it should be a lot of fun. That's 1 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow on Culture Casino's channel. Monday night, Mark C Comic Talk. Well, before that though, Sunday night on Mark D with a C's channel. Our good buddy, our great chief engineer, he will be doing Sunday night geekery late 10 p.m. Actually, 11. Was it 11? Maybe like 11 Eastern, so 10 p.m. Central. There you go.
And always a good time there. Great panel there.
Always a lot of fun. Please join us if you're up late at night on a Sunday. He, of course, will be joining me on Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk, to do a Clobby's Classic Comics review, and that, of course, will be Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 7, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday night, I should say. And I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait. So, and just under 2 weeks now, the 9th of February, I will have my 1,000th episode celebration. That's right. So
and the crowd goes wild.
They did do that. They went wild, or they did something.
1,000. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be epic funness, folks. It'll be 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, February the 9th. But enough of that nonsense. Let us get back to my chat here thing so I can see who all is here. See if anyone popped in.
Super fun, cool, and amazing people have just walked through the door. Tonight is going to be hysterical.
Yeah, and we're about to start shouting, you guys. I just had to get everything in order here. Okay, so first up, and I got them in order because sometimes people like to pop in early and say first, second, third, which I always get a kick out of. The Comic Relief Crusader, hail. Evening. R.N. Feliciano, Raymond, and Sandra's here too, I believe, as well.
The Felicianos.
I think they are here. Hello,
Did you see their earlier comment? They're watching us on the big screen tonight. So I hope they have a huge bowl of popcorn and they're cuddling because they are the most romantic wrenches on the internet. And check out Dolphin TV. And we love the Felicianos. Welcome, Felicianos.
Thank you, and thank you for your help earlier, Raymond. I did not go unnoticed. Thank you. Let's see here. Dragon Master 360, welcome. Good to see you. Evening. Snortapoopus Cuber.
Cuber.
Just the way he likes it.
He's James a good bear.
He is a good bear. We all know Snortapoopus is just the best bear there is, and we have a lot of bears around here to choose from. We do. So absolutely. James Caserta, welcome.
Good evening.
Good to see you. Let's see here. LT, the great Lord Thoth. Avon lives. Long live the Legion, brother.
LT. And Mrs.
LT.
Yeah. She might be here too.
Yes, he says that she does pop in from time to time. I was fortunate enough to spend some time hanging out with our buddy LT last night on the great Nick Weiser's channel.
Oh.
And which our buddy Nick, that was a lot of fun. And it's always a pleasure to do so. Nicholas is a great fellow, and so is LT. Appreciate you. And he says, so much fun. Mrs. LT says hi. There you go.
Hey.
Mr. Angel, what's up there, Chef?
Oh, Chef. Nice to see you.
Yes. We have Rudy. Hello there, Rudy. I've seen you pop in. Rudy's popped in over at Nick's before. Rudy, thank you for being here. Welcome to you. The great Phantom Outsider. What's up, buddy?
Phantom Outsider.
J-Man, brother. Always a pleasure. Great to see you popping in, buddy.
That's another person in our community who has his own YouTube channel, and he is such a smart and kind and wonderful person. If you're not following him, you need to be following him. Go find J-Man's channel. It's listed in the description of this show. He's a marvelous person. Go check him out. Smart, funny, great to be around. Great
channel. And a great channel. Please go subscribe to this link. Like I said, this is a link down there below. Please go subscribe to J-Man's channel and check his channel out, please, if you haven't. Great friend. And let's see here. Zathras is here.
Zathras. Crap.
D-Bud, the man of iron. What's up, buddy?
Hey. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Good to see you there, buddy.
Oh, J-Man, you deserve those kind words. I just think that you're just so smart and funny. You're just so knowledgeable. You're a great geek, and you're just so wonderful to everyone in this community. I hope your channel explodes. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm always going to promote your work. I think you're a great person.
Indeed. And the lovely and beautiful Sherry. Hello there, Sherry. Good to see you.
Hey, gorgeous.
Always good to see you. Kal-El, buddy.
The real Superman.
48, the real Superman. What's up, bro? And they call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete! And Leslie and family. Love the Pete's.
Indeed. And of course, the great Chris Persia. What's up, brother?
Evening. Nice to see you.
Always great to see you, bud. And of course, the other master of magnificent wrenching is here, the bronze wrencher himself, Eric K. What's up,
that
buddy?
Wrench is strategically placed because, you know, we are worried about other people's feelings. We wouldn't want anyone to feel inadequate. Eric!
Now I feel inadequate showing it. I'm going to stop showing that. Now I feel weird showing it.
I love you, Eric.
Eric's going to start feeling weird about showing that now.
No, I don't think so.
He is enigmatic, and he dropped some bears there. Enigmatic drop bear. Welcome me, D.
Very smart, cool person. I cannot wait to hear your insights into this evening's episodes. Looking forward to it.
Your Muslim uncle, peace be on you, sir. It's always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. I hope you are doing well.
Yes, and I had so much fun with you on Clubby's Clubhouse, and we were talking about VR, and I just great addition this evening. Nice to see you, your Muslim uncle, and wishing your family a hello and all the best.
Indeedishness. Yerat Inaxamanda bear. Welcome. Another bear. We got bears galore here. We're never short of bears here, which I love. We have three little bears here. Just saying.
We do.
And does that make which lady gets to be
Goldilocks?
Little Red Riding Hood. Hey,
isn't it Goldilocks and the Three Bears? I think it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I'm sorry, can't help it.
That's right, Goldilocks.
Yeah, I'm the Irish redhead and the Three Bears.
But I like Little Red Riding Hood because of the song. Hey, Little Red Riding Hood. Let's see. Matt G, welcome. Thank you for being here. Aaron Baker, hello there. Welcome.
Evening.
Good to see you. Gen Xer, hello and welcome. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Dadman Walking Buddy.
Dadman Clan.
Yes, hello to Mrs. Dadman as well, and the whole clan.
Yeah.
The great TMF Toxic Man Flu.
Love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Wolfie.
It's going to be a puntastic night when you have TMF around. He throws those puns out.
He does.
Slays. He slays with the dad jokes.
And we have our wonderful communications officers here, Anti-Derivative Jill.
Oh, fellow nerd, fellow INTJ, and mathlete. I love you, Jill. Great to see you. Hope you had a good week.
Looks like our aforementioned chief engineer is here as well. The great Mark D with a C. Good to see you, dude. Captain James C. Skywalker, good to see you there, Kimasabi.
Evening.
Mark Lurseth, hello there. Good to see you, buddy. I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, we'll write them down. Looks like we got to the end of that list. Oh, no, I see one. Oh, good buddy. D.O. Bird, what's up? What is up, old chap?
Yeah, long time no see, D.O. Burke. So good to see you.
Yeah. Thanks for posting that thing, that Gene Day. Oh, I see it, man. That Gene Day video. Gene Day's a genius, man.
Look who just walked through the door. Sorry to interrupt, but it's super important. Look who's here. Steve Mitchum's here.
I see him. Steve Mitchum. Buddy, please let us know how I know you're lurking and mostly, get rest and stuff, but please give us an indication of how you're doing, man. We hope you're doing better. Hope you're improving, brother. We love you, man.
Yeah, we do love you. I'm sending you a warm hug, honey. I hope you're resting.
Yep. Rest indeed, buddy. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, brother. So, but yes, D. Oberg, that was a cool video, man. Let's see here. Okay, well, I guess we are ready to. What do you think? We're ready to start out rock and roll with our first episode of the
As
evening.
they say in Louisiana, we read.
Dragon Master 360, R. Clobby, and Raquel, the only ones. Yes, we are always the only ones who review the episodes. That would be correct. Yes. If there were the way the both of us talk, if there were any more than that, we'd be here like 8 hours. Would you think? The way we are.
Yeah, it would. I think it would erupt into total chaos. But yeah,
it's we're a team that way, buddy. But anyway, so let me find the picture. There we go. Proceed, number one.
well, if you're joining us on a podcast and you're not in the live chat and you don't see a visual, there is a big old picture. It's an image from a book called Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block, a prolific Star Trek writer. She gets a little bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, who is also the primary writer of some Star Trek books. And of course, this book received the blessing of Ronald D. Moore and many of the cast and crew and everyone in production. Of course, this is self-evident when you read the text, as it's all original source material. So rather than taking information from user-generated websites on this show, we actually take it straight from the horse's mouth. We get a little bit of a summary of the episode. We hear a little bit of the stuff behind the scenes that gets rid of rumors, lies, facts, factoids. It sorts it all out. And then Clobby and I, Clobby, who has loved Star Trek for more than 40 years, and yours truly, who I've also loved Star Trek for more than 40 years, we talk about the coverage in the book. We talk about the episode, then we rate it. Then we do something that no one else does. We take it to the chat. We wanted this to be like a Star Trek convention. Like we were all sitting at a table having hot chocolate or a beer and pizza and just talking about Star Trek. So we ask everyone in our audience to give a rating for the episode and also some comments, grievances or facts or factoids that they may or may not know. And we just have a really jovial conversation about each and every episode. And we only do it for the 735. Yes, folks, this is the 735 Club. Here, there is no filth. We talk about 1966 to 2005 Star Trek, the only Star Trek.
The only Star Trek. Damn it, Jim. I'm a Star Trek, not a filth. Let's see.
Yeah, and so we're doing it in chronological order. And so we plowed through TOS, we plowed through TAS, we're on TNG, and we're in season 5. We do 4 episodes every Saturday. So saddle up, lock and load.
Yep. And we're ready. Are we ready to start for our first episode of the evening?
Let's do it.
All right, everyone. First episode tonight is the Shame. Subtitled Wussy Returns.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's a special one. We're not spoiling it, but this is special.
A special episode. Tonight on a very special Star Trek connection.
The Shame, season 5, episode 6. We all watched this for the very first time. Well, most of us watched
some for the last time too, but I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
On October 28th, 1991. Yes, folks, this was our Halloween horror. I think Toxic Man Flu just gave you an amazing super chat because he is such a wonderful person. TMF and Mrs. TMF, love you guys. Thank you for supporting this channel and this show.
Thank you so much. And he says, Wesley theorem number one. Wesley was not an annoying smart pants who ruined every episode he was in. He was a Section 31 agent working on a secret project to test Picard's patience. I'm with that.
Yeah. For sure. All right. So, let's keep copyright compliant. I am going to be reading an excerpt from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. If you have this text at home, please turn your Star Trek hymnal to page 226. It's 226. I'm going to read extemporaneously from this text. So if I make mistakes, keep your fruit.
Riker returns from vacation on Risa with a game that he's eager to share with the crew. Unfortunately, the game is psychologically addictive, and it quickly turns virtually every member of the Enterprise crew into a mind-controlled pawn of the Katarans, who are using the devices to gain control of Starfleet. After Data, who is an android, is unaffected by the game, inexplicably is incapacitated, only visiting Starfleet Academy cadet Wesley Crusher, dun dun dun, dun and young engineer Ensign Robin Leffler stand in the way of the insidious scheme. Now reading from page 227. I liked Wesley, Brandon Braga says, but it always was a challenge to make him a little hipper. He came across as so wholesome. I wanted to keep his brightness, but also give his character an edge. Oh, yeah, an edge, all right. An edge we could push him over. Anyway, now that he was at the academy, I wanted to mention that he was getting into mischief and was a little more savvy. And I made him aggressively interested in Robin Leffler. I think Will Wheaton appreciated that. One suspects Braga is correct. The episode provided Wheaton with once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to give future film star Ashley Judd her first on-screen kiss. That is correct. According to Braga, it was an opportunity he pondered for himself, albeit unsuccessfully. I hit on Ashley on the set, he admits, 25 years later, and I was dutifully ignored. The game marked Braga's first script as an official staff member. The story had been around the office longer than he had. Susan Sackett and her writing partner, Fred Bronson, had a cool idea. A cool idea, really? A cool idea about a game that could be used to take over the minds of the crew, he recalls. Apparently, they never figured out what the game was. So Michael Pillar handed me the concept to work out. I came up with this little visor-like thing that would stimulate the pleasure centers of your brain. For all intents and purposes, it would give you an orgasm when you reached a certain level, although that wasn't mentioned on camera. Reaching the pleasure center of Troy's brain meant revisiting a character note established 2 seasons earlier, her love of chocolate. In the price, Troy finds the food replicator incapable of serving up a real chocolate ice cream sundae. This time, however, there is no such trouble, and Troy finds her dessert quite satisfactory. Maybe a little too satisfactory. People were very split over whether they loved or hated the chocolate scene, Braga recalls. There were some who felt uncomfortable with the sexual innuendo, but I thought it was good to see our characters in a fresh situation. Braga cops to a certain thematic resemblance to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Oh God, he wishes. Yeah. It was corny even at the time, he admits, but I enjoyed writing it. It was fun to realize that Picard had been seduced by the game, and it was fun to watch Beverly Crusher attempt to entice her son. The script was produced exactly as I wrote it, so it was an extremely positive experience for me. And that, of course, is quoting Braga. And that is all the block text has to say about the shame. Clubby, over to you. Captain, what did you think of the episode, and what do you think of the coverage?
The coverage, I don't really, have much to say on this. I could just say that, all right, I have a question for everyone, if you could probably help me with this. I'm being serious here. When did Kirk's Johnson ever almost bring down the Federation? I'm trying to be as delicate as I possibly can. I really am. Yeah. When did Kirk's wiener ever almost to destroy the friggin' Federation? Riker. Yeah. Dude. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you need to keep it in your pants. If I were on Risa, look, I'm not faulting that part of it, but that's the story you're gonna give us?
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah. It's the Decker unit. The Decker unit strikes again.
It's shit. This. All right, and again, if they tried this without Wesley and did something else with the idea, I guess it'd have been. All right, no, I'm not gonna. I was gonna try to say maybe there's possibility that Wesley's not the worst thing in the episode because it was such a stupid idea, but no, he's still the worst thing in the episode. I tried though. Look, you're all witnesses. I tried to be nice to Wesley for a second, just didn't work out. And it's just not gonna. We're just not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
I tried though. Hey, Will Wheaton, don't say we never did anything for you. But it's just, I don't know. I can't even work up a lot of just like, I guess I was glad it was a one and done, because now when you're watching, yeah, he's leaving at the end. So maybe that makes this episode a little more palatable than some of the other ones, because he's leaving at the end. But the episode is just, it's just stupid. It's nothing is particularly well explained. That game is idiotic. Now again, let's got kind of a little slack. It was 1980, 90, whatever, they didn't.
1991.
Right. So yeah. But it's just the whole damn story is filler. We talk about filler crap around here all the time. It was filler excuse to get Will Wheaton back on for some reason, because there was some demand for him back on. Who wanted him back besides Brendan Braga?
Yeah. Yeah, no one wanted him back, and you could tell when he walked into his reception, everybody was so.
There you are. You're back, huh? Well, at least we're glad you're here, since we can never save the damn ship. We got you to do it. We don't have to try anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that Wolfie here. Oh,
Wolfie's here.
Wolfie, if you're here,
It's just.
we needed to pull out the clawbony. We needed to have Phantom Outsider hop up on that clawbony. It's time to clean up pop culture.
Yeah, everything about the episode is just kind of dumb and silly and boring, and Wesley makes it worse. Like, if it had been the relatively same story but with another actor, it would have just been silly and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But Wesley makes it like 10 times worse. I was trying to cut him some slack, but I can't do it. Screw him. Screw this episode. Are there worse ones? Sure. Don't get me wrong. There are episodes I think that are way worse than this one. And it does have a happy ending, meaning Wesley leaves. You can't get
but everyone has a happy ending in this episode, Club.
The happy ending started it all. Well done, by the way, number one. That's why we're a team. That's why we're a team. Toxic Man Flu, thank you so much. He said it. If you remember, Clobby, the Kirk in her incident of Adultery 5 from season 3 almost released Lazarus in the galaxy. Thank you so much for that. Oh, I forgot all about that one, buddy.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it was. I mean, so basically, these aliens almost took down Starfleet with a Game Boy.
Yeah, it's well, I have some really scathing notes.
Go for it. Go for the notes, because this episode's not even worth spending a lot of time with, to be quite honest with you.
Okay, so many of you already know what's coming, but if you've never been here before, let me just explain. I rewatch Star Trek every single year in chronological order, and so we wanted to have a format that was more organic than like a structured review. So I just take reflection notes while I'm watching the episode. And here are those notes. Unless you'd like to do that wonderful super chat that I think the Dadman clan just put up.
I could do it really quickly if you want. Dadman, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the $4.99 super chat. Dadman says, leave it to Counselor Cameltoe and Riker to make me cringe at my favorite ice cream, chocolate ice cream, fudge, and chocolate chips. I'm traumatized. That's a monumental feat on their part. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I totally agree. Dadman clan, all the Dadmans are the sweetest family you're going to meet on the internet. If you have a chance to hang out with the Dadman Walking 55 or his family, please do. They're great people. Okay, so here are my notes from this episode. During the opening credits, Picard says Wesley will arrive by shuttle, but Wesley does not arrive by shuttle. Wesley arrives by starship, and he is transported on board by O'Brien. So there's a mistake there.
Yeah.
Counselor Cameltoe's Sunday scene is weird. It doesn't feel sexual. It just feels weird. The Wesley party is weird and overly fake. Everyone looks uncomfortable. The visor should not work on Geordi. Geordi is blind. He can't see.
physically.
Yep.
He is physically unable to see, so it shouldn't work on him because
That's what I wondered.
yeah. Wesley is so famous at Starfleet. And then I put in yelling all caps, barf with an exclamation point, and I underlined it 4 times. I hate when he's with Leffler and she's like, and what about the rumors about your birthmark and all that other stuff? It's just no. It's yeah, and it's
my
important
God.
to always listen to nature. You know how like nature is aware of things that sometimes people aren't aware of. And saying that, I just want you all to know that a nasty ass fly lands on Wesley's dinner during his date with Leffler in 10 Forward. So while you're watching it, you know, I just want you to know what typically attracts flies. And a fly lands on his plate, and they're in space and they're on a starship. Anyways, let's keep going. When Wesley is on board the Enterprise, he always saves the day. 10 Forward looks like an opium den. Absolutely ridiculous the way they have people sprawled out all over like it's an opium den. Wesley fixes something that baffles Geordi. He does it handily. In a single sentence, he is able to figure out what is wrong with Data, and it previously baffled Geordi. And this is before Geordi puts on the sex headband. They say Wesley is on deck 6, and Wesley's running all over deck 6, but Wesley's actually on deck 7. So if you're going to say he's on deck 6, make sure that you change the stickers on the doors of the sets, because all of the doors and even the turbo lift are marked with 7. He's on deck 7. I put the cure wouldn't work on Geordi. The optical light burst via the palm light would not work on Geordi. Nope. So the device wouldn't work on Geordi.
None of it would.
Yeah, and then the cure wouldn't work on Geordi. So
they could have taken 2 seconds to like knock him out or something. No, they couldn't do that.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous. Anyways, yeah, and apparently Wesley can fix Data's positronic matrix, but he's not able to figure out that some optical light bursts via a palm light, a strobe light, you know, just take them all to a rave and give them some ecstasy or something, and they'll come right out of it. Like a palm light and, you know, a strobe light. I don't know. Just this is just. Can we please play my Wesley video?
Well, actually, we have something else as well.
Okay, let's do it.
We have something special for tonight. And here you go, folks.
You kids have certainly wound up all the loose ends in this case. Blasted meddling kids.
What? I wish you didn't have to go.
So Mark was playing with my videos, I would see.
Yes. Shout out to our chief engineer, the great Mark D with a C for that. Thank you. Oh, dear, those meddling kids. Mazarus, hello there.
Mazarus, nice to see you. I just want everyone out there to know that you can use my blowing up Wesley video. You can use that clip at your leisure. Use it as often as you possibly can in everything you possibly can.
Oh, there you go, D-Bud. Put the link. There you go, D-Bud.
Yeah, right, D-Bud? Love you, D-Bud. Thanks.
Thank you. Well done, Mark. So, yeah, this episode was a little bit on the dingbat side, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's more than just the dingbat side. It's just, yeah.
So, I will ask our wonderful first officer, if those are your notes, if you're done.
That's it, boss.
Okay, I'm going to ask number one for her rating of The Shame, Wussy Returns. I'll give mine, and then I will ask you in the chat. So hold up until we're ready. Hello there, Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers.
Hey!
It is always a pleasure to see you. Let's see here. So number one, what is your rating for this lovely episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation?
The Shame, the Wussy Returns, gets a D- from me. A D-.
It gets an F as an F that this episode from me, and I think I'm being kind to it. So
You are.
Now everyone, please start your reviewing.
So the word is given. The captain is given the order. Fire at will. Please put in your rating first, and then you can leave a very brief comment about the episode afterward. So fire at will.
Yes,
Evening,
fire
Grifter.
at will. Well, hello there, Grifter. Welcome. Okay, let's see here. If we've got, I'm sure they'll start pouring in a second. If that's I think that's a rating from James Caserta. Says an X minus. I don't know. I guess if that's it, James. Let's see here. Okay, I'm starting to.
I'm getting them all, boss.
Oh, missed one. There we go. I put the other two there, but I'll get them in there. So just tell me when you're ready. We let's see here. All right, we'll start here. Why didn't they call him Scuba Pizza C-? What a security breach! The Decker unit got us into this. Why would the replicator even create these sets?
Yeah,
that's a good point. Computer, make me a mini photon torpedo. What the hell? Good one, Scuba. The Comic Relief Crusader says I think it's a D because it never revealed that Wesley was actually Q in disguise. Hence why he's so annoying. You know something? That would make sense at least. All right.
Keely Chow, evening.
Keely. All right, roll tide, Keely Chow. Good to see you. All right, let's see here. Where were we? Okay. Sandra Feliciano says D. What?
I love the way she starts it.
Okay, D. Wesley sucks. Yes, and that's the big takeaway from all this.
Yeah.
Spurbies abounds. Security doesn't check things that come aboard. Really, it's like a filler episode because they had nothing to write about, or Wesley or Will Wheaton had an appearance in his contract. Yeah. I guess probably. That wouldn't surprise me there at all, Sandra. Let's see here. Snortapoopus says D-. The smartest kid in Starfleet returns to save the day again because the adults cannot compete with his awesomeness. I bet at Starfleet Command the other kids are like, "Oh, you're that guy that saves the Enterprise all the time." I mean, you're a kid and they need you to save their ass all the time. Aren't they a bunch of dumbasses or what? Even the kids at Starfleet wondered that probably. Apparently, Counselor Cameltoe's magic radar was on the blink again, and she didn't realize the Decker unit was addicted to this silly game when he beamed aboard. Yeah, another good point there, Snorty. There you go. Catman says, Clobby couldn't stand this episode. Clobby couldn't stand this episode. Can't give it a rating. Never watched it, but if to, I have to say it F. Okay. Let's see here. Zathras says A-. This episode proves that fellow University of Kentucky graduate athlete Ashley Judd is a great actress because she refuses to mention she was on Star Trek and she had to pretend Wesley turns her on. Just kidding. Poop, vomit, angry. Zathras always messing with us. Yeah, I mean, turned out to be kind of a rotten person herself, but back then she was certainly cute. But yeah, maybe meeting Will Wheaton ruined her as a human being. So number one, we have our great friend Enigmatic Drop Bear. Would you care to do the honors?
Oh, it would be an honor. Enigmatic drop bear, my smart bear, my fun bear. He's got a 3-parter here. He's going to go ahead and give the episode a D-. He says, this pathetic excuse for a story was contrived to make Wonder Key Wesley its hero. Its primary method for achieving this was by rendering the other crew members gullible and incompetent. And using a strobe light to remedy the effects of the game. It was laughable. The only thing this episode barely had going for it was Ashley Judd.
I'm with you there.
3 and 3. Enigmatic Dropper says, it's a shame because the use of an addictive game as an infiltration device is a solid basis for a sci-fi story. And I totally agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Intelligent, insightful comments as usual. Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Always. Mega Cropper says B+, Wesley's best episode, and Boothby gets a mention. Well, there you go. Thank you, Mega Cropper, and it's good to see you. And I did not see you pop in. As usual, you snuck in under there, and it's always a pleasure to see you here. Thank you. Raymond Feliciano says F. Decker unit, ugh. Wesley hitting on Leffler, cringe. The usual spurpies. The happiest ending was Wesley leaving, hopefully.
Yeah.
Out the airlock, set Globonino Warp 7 and move on to unification. Indeed, sir.
Nice
Indeed,
one,
sir.
Raymond.
Indeed, sir. Indeed, sir. The great Lord Thoth says A+. I thought this was a sensational episode. Absolutely a top tenner. One of my favorite. I thought the writing in this episode was just, this is sitting on the edge of forever of the Next Generation. This Wesley Crusher, Will Wheaton knocks it out of the park with a sensational performance. It is just, I was reading it backwards. Sorry. Sorry, Thoth. D-. This was awful. I think this was the worst episode of the season, and not because Wesley was in it. Okay, he affected the final score, but the story, the idea was ridiculous. Ridiculous. It was ridiculous, I'll tell you that. That's my new word for the day, folks. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm sorry. It was filthy when I had to go work because this episode deserves nothing but filth. So why not get down into the gutter with it, I say. D from the great Eric K. The Bronze Rinser says, thank goodness Wesley is back to save the ship. Poor Ashley Judd kissing that troll. Ashley brings it up 1 grade on Brightside Wesley merch. On Brightside, Wesley merch so cheap, Clobby cornered the market for his shrine. True. But we should keep that sort of thing a secret from now on. James Caserta says, that's a high rating indeed there. Thank you.
Maybe he means that it stings.
I think so.
Sorry, that's a TMF joke. That's a TMF dad joke. Sorry.
Are you ready to read our wonderful anti-derivative Jill, our communications officer?
Oh, it'd be an honor and a pleasure. Let's do it. My fellow nerd, who I love, she's got a 5-parter. So Jill, she's got some feelings about this episode. She's giving it a D. The Enterprise is almost lost because Riker loves women. I'm not sure if love's is a good word to pick, Jill. I love you anyway. Troy loves chocolate, and Data doesn't have any security added to his off switch. I wish I could have seen Worf bake a cake instead.
It'd have been more interesting in this episode.
It would have been more interesting. 2 of 5. She says, most frustrating is the exploration of the Phoenix cluster is set up with all sorts of modifications needing to be made to achieve it, only just to kill the story to 0 resolution later.
Yeah, you don't need all that uninteresting science stuff.
What do you need science for in science fiction? Anyways, sarcasm, insert sarcasm. 3 of 5. It's sad that Troy's most defining character growth involves how she eats chocolate, but it is the only quote of hers I repeat. Chocolate is a serious thing.
Oh, that is so true.
4 of 5. It takes Wes and Robin forever to catch up to what we know. It's never explained how it can so precisely brainwash while allowing the victim to be functional. It was outrageous, as was the cure.
Yep.
And 5 of 5, Jill says, I'd expect Picard and Geordi to resist. Picard with support could break through Borg reprogramming. How is this game more sophisticated than that? Also, Geordi survived Romulan brainwashing. I love it.
No, because never any continuity on the show. So, but yes, well done, well done. I could.
Love, love, love.
Oh, Snarl Pooba said, "Oh, I couldn't write more than 2 parts to the review because I was nauseated." Well, I can't blame you, you bear. Take some Arctic char from and call me in the morning.
Yeah, somebody send poor Snortopoopas some Arctic char and some chin scritchies.
Mr. Angel says Z minus. The shame. Oh, the shame. Oh, the shame of it all. The title is all the rating it needs. It gets rather. Well, I'm right there with you, sir. Toxic Man Flu says A+. I think this is just a magnificent episode, almost as good as the alternative factor. Oh, sorry. He says F. It was worth a shot. F-. Wow, dude, what are you doing under? We got these Z's now. You're undercutting me, man. I don't know, man. I got to reevaluate my review now. He says it is a shame, or it's a shame I can't go lower, but they can't either. So, the only thing that would have saved this episode would have been Lazarus popping in for another dimension and stealing Wesley's girl before falling off her. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's fantastic. Oh, way to go, TMF. You're the best. Well done, sir. Let's see. Kal-El, buddy, says D-. The only game that's being played here is the promise of another good episode. But instead, we get one where Wesley saves the ship again.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, he's just visiting. Hey, watch, I can save this ship in my sleep. And he did. It makes you wonder how the ship was able to operate without him aboard while he was at the academy. Ain't that the truth? They should be the laughing stock of Starfleet. I mean, like if Kirk goes to like captain's meetings and crap, and they go, aren't you the guy who has that little kid saving your ship on? Yeah, you're real. What are you doing in charge of the flagship? I mean, gee, you can't save your own ship. You got a little 15-year-old kid to do it. The obvious commentary about addiction disguised as a not so hidden dig at gamers. Were there gamers back then, though? I mean, I guess they don't know if they had gamers back then that played a lot of. I mean, they had video games, but yeah, they were probably talking about kids in the arcade. Gamers of the 90s and even today didn't go unnoticed either. The only reason why this episode wasn't an F is because the special effect of the game was impressive for its time. Fair enough. Well, I suppose it was. Let's see, excuse me. Phantom Outsider says W. As in wonderful. No, just kidding. As in what were they thinking? So there are no protocols for psychoactive games. Good point. Also, as stated, the replicator just creates dangerous mind-altering devices. Data is, just creates them willy-nilly. You're right. Data is suddenly fragile. Yeah. Let's see. Where's your next one? Okay. All right. So in the future, people cannot be stimulated and do their jobs. Apparently, they are so incompetent. They can only do one thing or have one thought at a time, to borrow from the jerk. Where is the... Hang on. Find your next one, buddy. I know it's there somewhere. Okay. Class action lawsuit for them marketing a device they didn't even test on prisoners. Kirk could play that at level 300 and beat an enemy. He was wearing I think it means if he was wearing an old version of ST2 caught with britches down.
Captain.
Yes.
Brandon, the anime guy, walked in the door just as I was starring off the comments and reading anti-derivative Jill's comments. Brandon, the anime guy, he gave us a super chat. What a sweet person.
Thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate you, sir. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well tonight. He said, it's been a minute. I hate this episode. This one will be skipped. 0 out of 10 or 10 or 10 Wesley tossed out the airlock. This one is one of the worst.
Yeah.
Indeed, sir. It is indeed. And I thank you so much for that, buddy. Appreciate it. You are too kind, sir.
Yeah, it's really sweet of you. Thank you very much.
And I hope you are doing well. Keely Chow rolls some tide over this one by saying, D, if this episode taught me that video games are dangerous in the 24th century. Oh, well, yes, true. They are, aren't they? Let's see here. Chris Persia has a review.
Yeah, I saw that. I was so excited. I was like, Chris?
Yeah, I
Chris.
see a review from Chris. All right,
Yeah,
buddy. Extremely dreadful. Following Chinese numerology, this episode was as unlucky as Deck 7, soon to be forgotten and confused for something else. Well done. Great, Chris Persia. Appreciate you, buddy.
Captain, JT
Yes.
Kirk just walks through the door.
JT!
Mwah.
What is up, buddy? Always great to see you, bud. Let's see here. B- for the great Dad Man Walking. I actually like this episode, except for cringing my ice cream and hyperventilating on the bed, on the bed, Wesley. Oh, hyperventilating on the bed, Wesley. Again, Riker's libido is the greatest threat to the ship. When he smiles, I shudder.
What a great review. That is such a great review. I mean, that's exactly what it's about. The Decker unit's libido. It's like, nah. Anyway, that was a sensational review, Dadman.
Well, we have a differing view in the Dadman household because Mrs. Dadman says F is too high. Agreed. Hate this episode. Couldn't get through. I hate Riker almost as much as I hate Wesley, and the ice cream scene made me cringe.
Me too, Mrs. Dadman. Me too. That was so gross. Like, it wasn't even sexual. It was just awkward.
Story just plain stupid. Dialogue terrible. Acting sucks. I love you, Mrs. Dadman.
Yep, I love you too. And, you got to come more often and show up and give those great reviews. We love them.
Dadman, you are not worthy, buddy. I'm just kidding. You know I love you. You're my bud. I'm just kidding with you, buddy. Thank you. Let's see here. Wolfie says, rating C. The game, aka Angry Family Birds. The only good thing about the episode is Robin Leffler. He says, let's see here. The Clawbonies brushes are going to have to sculpt the poo that this one left behind. Gee, you announced poo was. What am I going to do, you boy? I had a third one of them. Oh, Toxic Manful. I'm sorry, I didn't see there was another one.
No, he's joking.
I know, but he did. I didn't see that one though.
Yeah.
Part 3 of 1,478. There's no way Wesley kisses a girl. Self-satisfaction in a Jeffries tube, maybe, but not another human. Also, especially not Ashley Judd. Also, seeing Troy's Gameldo explains the casting of Frakes' forehead. Whoa. Whoa, dude.
Oh, so funny.
Oh, TMF, you're the limit, brother. The great Tamakini with the C for our final review. Oh, he's always the final. I'm sorry, man. I forgot I didn't see JT there. JT, because I always like to do the chief engineer last, holding up the caboose there. D- from JT Kirk. I feel bad for the ensign. She could do so much better. Well, yeah. Would not Geordi also be impervious to this device? Yes, as Raquel mentioned in her notes. Ferengi, Klingons, etc. This episode is pure poppycock. Klebonians start your Indian engines. We gave it a Kleboni, that's for sure, buddy.
Yep.
So it's good to see you. Mark D with the C says, D+, Robin's Law, 105. Episodes with Wesley suck. Gets a plus for the gorgeous Ashley Judd. She was back then. She's a rotten person now, but anyway, too many plot holes. No logic to permitting these devices on a military ship without inspection. Yes,
Mhm.
that's one of the things that bothers everybody. It's like, what is it's just
Or
but
even
then
while you're replicating it, why wouldn't
the
you
replicator
be
pickup,
even
yes.
slightly intrigued by what it does, especially once you figure out that it should be at the love shop and you should be touching it to your naughty bits. Like you think that they would be, a little bit curious as to what it does, and that would be a part of the replication process. You don't just put it inside the replicator and out the other side it comes. I mean, there has to be programming there.
It was just sloppy filler drivel writing. Tech like this could be a grave danger to the Federation and might have made a good story if well written. Of course, you can always do something with something, but should we feel sorry for Leffler that she ended up marrying Wesley? Scene was thankfully cut from Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yes, we would have had to feel sorry for her.
Although it would have been better if they just would have cut Nemesis as well.
Yeah.
I'm
Boy, howdy.
sorry.
No, you're right. They would have. Mrs. Dadman said, "We're going to say good night, everyone. Have a great night." Well, Mrs. Dadman, good night to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for stopping in, Dadman Clan. We love you. Have a great week.
Indeed, indeed. And one more review of this one before we move on. A Dragon Master 360 says, "My rating G for gross." Can't blame you there. Thank you so much, Dragon Master. Appreciate you.
Oh, look who just walked through the door.
I can't see, my chat's way
Go
behind.
to your star. Go to your star.
Oh. Hungry boy.
Yay!
What's up? Oh my goodness, great to see you, man. I was wondering where you were, brother. So we're always great to see you there. Hungry boy. Let's see, what's the name for tonight? Hungry for Common Sense in Comics again. Okay, I love it.
I like that one.
Good to see you there, bro. Yes.
Don't worry, I got your back covered. I got the Dadman Clan, I got Hungry Boy, and now look who just walked through the door.
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Hey, sweetheart.
All kind of great friends are popping in, man. It's such a great night. What a great night we're having here. Good to see you all. I'm so glad to see you all here. He says, Hungry Boy says, I give the I already said that one, didn't I? I give the graphic alterations in this pic being shown an A. You don't know, I know I did a crappy job on it, dude, but thank you anyway. You're too kind. I'm no artist like you, brother. Mr. Tickle Trunk, good to see you. Let's see here. F is his rating. I believe the only upside to this episode is seeing the Doctor's O face.
Love Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Actually, I got rid of TMF by accident.
That's okay. I'll find it again. Where'd you go? I got him. Here he is, boss. There's our TMF.
I love this feature. Part 1478 of 1478. And finally, the casting of bullshitting in the Decker Dong in this episode was a stroke.
Not of genius.
Not of genius, just a stroke.
Just a stroke.
You slay me, one. You are something. TMF is a champion. I mean, I don't know where our buddy Max is tonight, but those two have got to hook up and do a channel.
They're hysterical. And when you get masters. TMF on a pun roll, it becomes hysterical. He can weave dad jokes in with like puntastic, punnerific puns. That it's just, it's marvelous. He's an extremely funny person.
Oh, what's that Jill said? Oh, my toddler loved it too. She called them stickers on the pictures. She said, look at that. They actually really are called stickers from 3D paint.
I would just like to say that I have seen, Jill's my real friend, so I've seen pictures of her family. Her kids are so cute. They're the cutest kids. You have no idea how adorable her kids are.
He says he's drunk.
I know. He's like, I'm also drunk, which
well
helps.
done, TMF. Are we ready for our next episode?
We are.
All
we're
right.
ready. We're ready.
All right. Well, I'm thrilled about this one. To bring this next one to you folks. Our next episode is
Unification. Cajun Man. Unification. Season 5, episode 7 and 8. we first watched these on November 4th, 1991, and then November 11th, 1991. And Wolfie, ow, ow, ow! Wolfie just put in a wonderful super chat.
Oh.
I started for you, boss man.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wolfie. I appreciate that. These reviews are really sculpting the fudgy marshmallows tonight. Thanks, buddy.
Claude's here. Hold on.
Claude.
Show. Claude.
I got to remember how to spell it. I spelled it right. So yeah, this episode always kind of gets me, you know, where for this particular reason that I put there. That was that little dedication there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say some stuff about that. That dedication and its timing, because, you know, I'm a little cheesed off, but we'll talk about that after.
Oh, should I have not put that there? I'm sorry.
No, of course you can. You remember, folks, Clobby and I, like, he's actually my Star Trek soulmate. So we don't discuss our reviews or anything about the episodes. We wanted it to be exactly like it would be if Clobby and I met up at a con. So that's what you're hearing here. You know, he's put this up, and you know, he loves Gene Roddenberry almost as much as I do, I think. But I have some inside stuff on that I'm not too pleased about. So you're going to hear me bitch and whine about that later. Sorry, everyone.
Go for it.
Okay, so Unification, like I said, season 5, episodes 7 and 8. Let's stay copyright compliant. I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block, a prolific Star Trek writer. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, who is also an author and is the primary author on many books. This book received the blessing of the TNG staff, crew, production, and I'm going to be reading from page 228. I'm going to read extemporaneously. Therefore, it will not be perfect. That's okay. That's okay.
Of course it is. Of course.
Hearing that, legendary Starfleet officer Spock may have defected to the Romulan Empire, Captain Picard travels to Vulcan to talk to Spock's father, former Ambassador Sarek, who is near death from the ravages of Bendai syndrome. In a rare lucid moment, Sarek discloses that Spock has long harbored hopes of peacefully reuniting the Vulcan and Romulan people, who once were a part of the same civilization. Rather than committing treason, Spock actually may be initiating steps to achieve that peaceful goal. Determined to find the truth, Picard and Data, disguised as Romulans, set out to the Romulan homeworld. Upon finding Spock, Picard learns that the Vulcan is indeed on an unauthorized mission to reunify his people with their sundered brethren. Spock counts among his allies a Romulan senator named Pardek and the Romulan proconsul Noral. But if Noral is actually on the up and up, why is he secretly meeting with Commander Sela, the Romulan who recently helped to incite the Klingon Civil War? And why have the Romulans recently stolen a small convoy of Vulcan ships from a space salvage yard? And now from page 229. When Unification Part 1 aired the week of November 4th, 1991, a somber little title card at the start of the show, Gene Roddenberry, 1921 to 1991, the great bird had passed away on October 24th. Just 2 days earlier, he had attended a screening of the upcoming feature, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And now, 2 weeks after Roddenberry's death, the most recognized character from his first Star Trek series was scheduled to appear alongside the cast of the second. Like the estranged child of a first and second marriage, these siblings had mingled very little during TNG's early years. McCoy and Sarek had managed to bridge the divide, but the mere mention of Spock's name had been strenuously resisted. But in 1991, such resistance seemed, if not futile, then certainly inconsequential. Oh, this is making me angry. This was Star Trek's 25th anniversary, and it was shaping up to be a year of one big Star Trek family. Michael Dorn, cast as Worf's grandfather, was seen in Star Trek VI, while Spock's TNG appearance represented the Vulcans' first new small screen adventure in over 2 decades. Roddenberry's death cast a pall over some of the festivities, but nothing could hold back the cultural juggernaut that his creation had become. A new Star Trek series, Deep Space Nine, was already in development, and there were whispers about moving the next generation to the features side of the Paramount lot. More new incarnations of Star Trek would follow, all conceived without benefit of the creator's touch. Would he have minded? It seemed unlikely. In 1988, Roddenberry stated, quote, "I would hope that there are bright young people growing up over time who will bring Star Trek levels and areas that were beyond me. And I won't feel jealous about that at all. It'll go on without any of us and get better and better and better. That really is the human condition, to improve." Oh boy. Poor
Wow.
Gene.
Sorry,
And-
sorry he did that. Sorry, I'm glad he doesn't know what's going on now.
Yeah, and it's very obvious that one of the reasons why they were able to bring back Spock is because Gene had died, yeah, I think it's bad that they waited until unification to announce that he was dead. They could have done that in the previous episode, The Shame, and that's when it should have been done. However, I digress. It looks as though there are 2 more
Go for it.
tiles, and I'm going to read the one with Mark Lennard on it because I love Mark Lennard. Please turn to the block text, page 231. Mark Lennard relished resurrecting the character of Sarek for unification. "They only sent me part of the script," Lennard noted in a 1994 interview with the authors of this book. "I read it and thought, well, I'm only in one scene, but it's a good scene, a bit like King Lear. So I did it." Sometime later, he was in a Star Trek, he was at a Star Trek convention, Albany or Springfield or whatever, he said, with the smile of a man who'd participated in more than a few conventions over his lifetime. "They showed both parts of the episode, and I saw them there for the first time, but I hadn't known that Sarek died." How did he feel about the death of his character? "Well, I thought it was chintzy," he admitted. "I didn't think it was respectful of the character. I got all kinds of letters about it." I agree, Mark. Although he was touched by the influx of concern from fans, the actor believed that there was no reason why he couldn't appear as Sarek in the films that took place in an earlier era, or even as another character. He had, after all, played a Romulan and a Klingon within the Star Trek franchise. Yeah,
Yep.
There was no need to kill off Mark Lennard. He's a gifted actor, and I love him. Anyway, as Spock once said, there are always possibilities. Jimmy Doohan, who was at the same convention, said to me, "Well, did anybody see Sarek die? Was anybody there?" recalled Mark Lennard. I said, "No." "Well," Jimmy told me, "then you're all right."
There you go.
And that sans that one tile that I skipped over, which was 230, is all the block text has to say about unification, episodes 7 and 8. Bossman, what did you think of the coverage? And what did you think of at least let's talk about the first part. What did you think of the first part?
Oh, well, it's interesting. I mean, I was kind of thinking a lot about what you were talking about, how the crediting, them putting the credit before the episode that they did. You're saying they should have done it for the game, right? Or
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want his name on that one. I mean, his name's anyway on all of them, but I mean, this one here, I don't know. I think it's kind of fitting to be on this one in a sense, if you have to choose, because wow, seeing that somber thing right there in front of a piece of trash like the game, I don't know. I'm kind of glad it's where it is. I mean, I have my issues with this episode, but
Yeah, but when he died, I was waiting for them to say something, and I'm watching the episode, and nothing comes up, and it's just like, so he died, and he died 10 days ago, and you guys have already put in another episode. Are you going to say anything about it? Like, we have all this internet stuff now, so people are like, well, in retrospect, but in socio-historical context, for those who were actually watching it on November 4th, 24th. We were like, WTF. Only we didn't use that acronym back then. We just swore out loud because, you know, he was dead and we knew he was dead. It was all over the newspaper. I think I even read something in TV Guide.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, are you going to say something about like Gene Roddenberry dying? What?
Yeah. Were they able to get it on there in time, that episode also? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, it's October 24th that he died. And
Right.
so, you know, getting it out on November 4th is definitely lagging.
Okay, well, yeah, it was well. There you go. I mean, I don't know. I'm still glad to see where it is because the game. Well, anyway.
Yeah,
But,
the game would
yeah,
the game
retrospective
seems
anyway.
unsuitable in retrospect. But I'm just saying
Right.
that back in 1991, actually back up for the game episode, I was sitting on the end of my bed, and I think I watched Star Trek After Jeopardy, and I just remember saying, like, why aren't they saying something about Gene dying? Like, what the hell's going on here? So it felt weird, and it made me angry with the production. I was like, you need to talk about him dying.
Well, Mark says it may have been out to the networks, or you mean the syndicators probably was syndicated, but maybe it was already distributed. I don't know. But I don't know. But at least they got it on this one, and of course they had plenty of time to put it on the movie, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, the episode itself. I tell you what, I like it, but man, I don't know, when you're getting this, you're so excited to getting to see Spock come back. I'm not sure. I don't know if they could have satisfied me with 4. I mean, unless you did 4 episodes of Spock. So I thought in the first part, of course, we don't even get him until the very end. I think the episode is fairly, interesting and well done until then, but you really only get to see Spock for the second episode. And so this first part, there was this build up, this anticipation. Spock's coming back. I don't say I disliked it or anything. I thought the episode was fine building up to it. It was okay. But I got to admit, I'm like, man, I want Spock. I mean, I know it's a 2-parter, but you're going to make me wait for the second part? I don't care about logic. I want my Spock right now. Damn it. That said, it was a pretty... I don't know. I'm not too really thrilled with the whole Romulan defector story, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not huge on it, but my heart's too involved in this episode to get that angry with it, especially after that opening emotional scene with Sarek.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, but Mark D with the C, it's not 4 days. What they ended up doing is waiting 10 days to say something. And he is the creator of the show. And they're typically, when someone died back then in the 90s on a television show, they announced it immediately. They didn't wait and let and air one episode and then air another episode and announce it. Yeah. So anyway, Mark, I just think it's disrespectful. I also think that the talk around the episode is disrespectful as well. Because if you've read Gene's Bible, you know that it wasn't that what was it that Paula said that everybody was talking about, how it was like you couldn't even utter the words that Spock would be on set and so on and so forth, because that was like blasphemy or whatever. What a bunch of BS. It was it is the fact that Gene, when he decided to do TNG, and he wrote that Bible, what he wanted to do was he wanted to have an inspired writing team that did not return to the old ideas and just rehash old stories. And they did do that. And it's super annoying. So in retrospect, they're saying weird things. Like, this is a pretty recent book, saying weird things like that, you couldn't even utter Spock's name, and that it was a big shock that right after Gene died that Spock was on set. And that's a bunch of crap. It's not like he banned the people talking about Vulcans or using the Vulcan storyline. It's that it was a huge, huge thing, TOS, and recycling those ideas. He addresses it directly in his Bible. Please do not recycle the ideas from TOS. And so to sort of like cast it as though he was, banning it or whatever, I think it's totally dishonest. I don't get it. And I think
like I said, I just think it's dishonest.
Because you're right, those stories were out there all the time. Into the fandom, we were always hearing stuff like that.
Yeah.
About how, Roddenberry didn't want anything. When you'd hear that as a fan, and you didn't know. I mean, I didn't. I go, wow, what's wrong with him? I understand what he wants to do his own thing with the show, make it his own animal, but you can't throw us a bone once in a while. The original series, like stuff like that, and they made it sound like he didn't want anything to do with the original series. And now I didn't know what to believe because there wasn't no internet or anything like that with coming from a million different sources that were all over the place.
That's right.
So yeah, no, I hear you. And now that I hear what you're talking about there, I'm going, it makes me wonder about all the times I heard stuff like he didn't want to mention the original series and all that other stuff.
Well, and even then, Gene, it was proved right. Ask Lord Thoth, ask LT. How many times have Lord Thoth and I said, and you've even said, Clobby, this episode was done better by TOS. So they were doing it even despite him strictly forbidding them from doing it, because it was just easy to go back to the honeypot and use the honeypot. And he knew that they were so weak that they were going to do that. And so all they did, all that happened is that history proved Gene correct, that once he was dead, and once he wasn't there anymore to growl like a bear when they were rehashing stuff and recycling stuff, that they would just go right back and start doing it. And that's exactly what they did. So if that's the truth, and we know that's the truth, then just tell the truth.
Yep. Well. What are your thoughts on the episode? Oh, you got notes, I'm sure.
I do have notes. I have notes on the first part, and I'll just read my notes on the first part. Said Gene died on October 24th, 1991. They had a memorial tile made for this episode, not the first episode after his death, but 2 episodes later. This is not in good form. Picard was always under the rule of female admirals and managed not to hate himself. So that's just me thinking about the episode and giving a finger to all the people who love the filth.
Yes.
The debut of the latest Poopy Stew uniform. So as many of you cosplayers out there know, I follow the cosplay of the Poopy Stew and his endless bitching about what he's wearing. As you will notice now, he now has a gray shirt. Previously in Darmok, he's wearing a blue shirt. It's a bluish shirt, and the shiny leather shoulder pads were actually removed from the coat from Darmok, and so now he has a gray shirt, and now the shiny leather shoulder pads have been removed, and they're sort of like football player pads. They're removed, and now they're suede. And now he has a gray shirt, and that's good. I put in my notes because he isn't a master. He isn't a PhD. He's not a doctor, and he's also not a medical personnel. So good. It's a good thing that he's got a gray shirt now, and that they changed his whole jacket to be suede, because he never stopped bitching about wearing a uniform despite being in the military. Who signs up for a job on a show to dress up as a captain in the military and bitches, whines, and moans because what does he want to wear? Pajamas? Anyways, notice how I say pajamas like an American now? I spend too much time with you Americans.
Good night, Mr. Angel.
Good night, Chef.
Good night. Have a good one.
And then I put, Sarek is not deaf. So why, when Perrin enters the room and Picard enters the room, they yell at him? They yell right into his face. This is weird. Don't yell at old people. Old people with dementia can hear you. They're not deaf. They're just old and they're losing their memory. Don't yell at people. And then I put Klingons, Vulcans, Romulans. Oh my.
Oh my.
And then Dokachan, the Zach Dorn, is so much fun. I love this character. I love that Zach Dorn character, and I love that Dokachin. I think he is just wonderful. I enjoy him immensely. Data and Picard on a Klingon ship. These are delightful scenes. Brent Spiner, of course, is a wonderful human being, a marvelous actor, and he always brings it. And then I put, they killed Sarek. This is so dumb. And then I put alien ship blows up with very little fire plumes in space. Bravo to the production team, because of course, when we have seen other Klingon episodes, we've seen a great deal of fire in space, and there is no fire in space because there's no oxygen in space. Marvelous dialogue on complicated family relationships. I just love this marvelous dialogue on the complicated family relationships. But overall, I'm not too fancy on this episode. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's good either.
I got you. So, what is your overall rating of episode 1 then?
It's a B for me.
Amazing. We always have the same. Well, not always. We don't. But I'm a B as well.
Yeah.
Because I do like. Well, you named some of the things I like. I thought it was kind of funny them going on to the Klingon ship. That was some fun stuff there. The biggest drawbacks for me of the episode are killing Sarek. I mean, I understand the emotional impact of it. At least he's old. I mean, it's okay. I just don't prefer it. I don't know if we ever really needed to see that, to be perfectly honest with you. Even though it does carry dramatic weight later, I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me personally. I actually don't really care for the overall plot of either of the two parts, because it's one story, two parts. The whole setup, the whole thing on Romulus, all that other kind of stuff. It's not something I prefer. I give it a B because it is fairly, well handled. And again, we get to see, some of the stuff with Picard and Data dressed up as Romulans and different things like that. I found it overall a good one, but nothing great. So I probably should have went with a B minus. I'll stick where I stayed, what I originally went with a B. So I guess now we can ask our friends, what is your rating?
Mm-hmm.
And your any words you may have, my friends, on Unification Part 1. Go.
Yes, the word has been given. The captain, you have received your orders from the captain. Please fire at will. Get up those ratings and those comments. We welcome them, and we're going to read them. We're going to share them.
While we wait to start, I'll say Mark D with the C, our chief engineer, has an interesting thing. He talked about how, and he's mentioned this before, my brother-in-law got married November the 9th when the episode aired in New York City, so I was pissed. But interwebs say it aired on Monday, November 11th. I still joke with him how could you get married when Spock was coming back?
That's hysterical.
Hell yeah, you consider it. Terribly inconsiderate of them. All right, let's see what you got so far. Number 1, Raymond Feliciano says A minus. Excuse me. Seeing Sarek again was great. Seeing Sarek again was great. I was disappointed that it took so long to see Spock overall. Overall it was well written. That was my big thing too, Raymond. The build up. Could we at least get maybe 3/4 into the episode to get a little Spock? I mean, anyway.
Boss man, may I interject quickly? I do apologize,
Please.
But I just wanted to welcome a returning guest who's quickly becoming a part of this community. J25, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I have definitely starred your review for the captain to read. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's G25? Hey, Good to see you there.
J25.
J25. Okay. That's
It's
right.
coming up, Clubby. You'll see it on the.
I got you.
in the
I got
star.
you. Thank you. Let's see here. We've got the great Lord Thought LT says C minus. This is a mixed package for me. I love seeing Spock. It was an incredible experience at the time. It doesn't age well. I didn't like what they did with Sarek, and the plot was off. Not top tenor. Gotcha, brother.
Yeah.
And I tend, as Spock would say, I tend to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Catman says, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good episode. I thought actors and actresses did a good job with what they had at hand. I give it a B plus. Well, thank you, Catman. I appreciate
Nice one,
that.
Catman.
Indeed. Snorty says B. This is a decent episode with Mark Leonard giving a heartbreaking and sadly final performance as Sarek. Yes, well, he was really good. And Leonard Nimoy as Spock, but hang on. Oops. There we go. Okay. Oh, here we go. Excuse me here. The B plot with the Decker unit and Counselor Obvious, despite some amusing moments, detracts from it. And by the way, that's one other thing I forgot. I like the Zach Dorn guys. So some of that stuff I kind of liked. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
In the ship junkyard, I enjoyed that.
Yes, that was super fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, that's also why Jill and I always complain when they say that they have a Starfleet vessel that's adrift, and Jill and I are like, no. It's not adrift. It's not just waiting out in space for Ferengi to come and claim it. We have a shipping yard.
Yep. Picard and Data having to deal with the slights. Excuse me. From a petty functionary and more shenanigans from Galran is good, but the first part seems to be mostly a protracted setup for part 2. Very good point, Snorty. I'm absolutely with you there. Mega Cropper simply gives us an A. Thank you, Mega. As always, we appreciate seeing you here. Let's see here. Hungry Boy, good to see you, my friend. Says C+. Would have been a B, but I ain't giving a B to Romulans dressed in the shape of SpongeBob.
Yeah, Hungry Boy, I hate what they've done with the Romulans here. It's so annoying.
I hate them. Yeah. Hate them. So, number 1, would you care to do the honors for our great enigmatic drop bear? And then after that, Jill?
The good and smart bear. We have so many good and smart bears around here.
We do have smart bears.
Enigmatic drop bear. The erudite bear. He's got a 2-parter here. He's given this one a B. He says, I don't know what to make of unification. On the one hand, it was great to see Sarek. He and the Klingons were great and lifted every scene they were in. I agree. 2 out of 2. On the other hand, Data's and Picard's Romulan infiltration lacked sophistication and opened up all sorts of possibilities that diminished the Romulan threat. Love you.
Absolutely.
So smart, so insightful. Drop the mic.
Indeed. And of course, our wonderful communications officer. Go for it.
Hey, you beautiful nerd. 1 of 4. Anti-derivative Jill, our wonderful communications officer, illustrious nerd and mathlete. She's given this one an A-. She says, when TNG calls back to TOS, it is with loving respect and admiration, bringing Spock into this time period as a respected leader and ambassador, setting the mystery. The second mystery regarding the Vulcan deflector array sets up an intriguing mystery in the satisfying yet infuriating manner in which any hope of resolution is marvelously destroyed. Spock's unreconciled disagreements with his fathers and clues to his whereabouts are well laid out in an Emmy-worthy performance by Mark Lenard, making me personally wish I had met him. Yeah, I loved him. I just absolutely loved that man. Not only was he handsome, but he's my type. Everyone knows he's my type. I like that type. Anyway, 4 of 4. The continuity callback in which Picard uses Klingon politics to procure a cloaked ship was joyful to see. Captain Kavada is clever, but terse and correct. Brent makes a handsome Romulan. Yeah, we get to see his real eye color in this episode, which is really nice. And I just love Brent. Brent is good people. Smart, funny, great actor. I mean, he's Star Trek royalty. He's just, I love Brent Spiner.
We all love the Mr. Spiner there for sure. J25, thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Unification 1 and 2. Oh, well, we're doing one since you put them there, so we're doing one at a time, but okay. 1 and 2, C+ for the whole. It's just okay. Also, the warbird destroying the transports was just an ugly, cheap VFX shot. Malachi Throne was a nice bit of casting. Yes, of course, Commodore Mendez on the old episode from the Menagerie.
Mm-hmm.
And false face on the old Batman TV show, and a well-accomplished old school actor. Mm-hmm. So yes, indeed. Thank you, JT25. Appreciate you. Zathra says B. Nothing funny about this episode. So he didn't even say crap.
He didn't even say crap.
Brandon, the anime guy, says grade C. I do not recall this being a great story to start with. Part 2 fixes quite a few things, but when dealing with Romulans, always expect treachery. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And dumb looking outfits when it's on TNG.
Yeah.
Comic Relief Crusader says C-. I found it sad that Sarek dies. However, I found the episode dry and slow. I literally wanted to push this episode to go faster. I was in a hurry to see Spock myself, so I can kind of see what you're saying there.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra says, B. Great seeing that Spock and Sarek reconciled. Denise Crosby was a waste of film.
Can we just leave that up there? Is there any I wish through StreamYard that you could actually like send your own super chat to the viewers. B. Great seeing that Spock and Sarek reconciled. Denise Crosby was a waste of film. Sandra Feliciano. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, my fellow nerd. You make my heart sing. That was, as Mr. Tickletrunk would say, chef's kiss.
Well done, Sandra. Let's see here. C for J.T. Kirk. I usually just skip part 1 and go right to part 2. I can't blame you. I still maintain Sarek died by evaporation. The Last Jedi style. His Katra. Now, why would you say those words? Ugh, that movie's garbage. But I forgive you, buddy. his Katra can still appear as a ghost to train Spock in the ways of the logic.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's a really beautiful thing to say. But yeah, I think it's stupid that they killed him off. It's dumb. And in
There's no point
Mark
to it.
Lenard's own words, that was chintzy.
It was chintzy. B for Eric K. The Great Bronze Wrencher says Picard and Data at Romulus when the walls fell down. Mark Lenard is always magical. He owns every episode, no matter the script. Yeah, he's fantastic. You gotta love him. Indeed, Bronze Wrencher. Phantom Outsider says B. However, the worst thing they did in these episodes moving forward was both Sarek for a second time and Spock mind melding with Picard, and Captain Dunsel still didn't learn nothing. He was gifted. Gifted the memories of Sarek, who melded with Kirk before, and Spock, who had melded with Kirk and McCoy, Scotty, etc. Dunsel was incapable of learning or mental growth. Data learning neck pinch. Yeah. I guess it's okay. Well, yeah, I did. I thought.
Phantom Outsider. I love that Data
That's the
learned
next episode.
That's the next one. But yeah, I love that part too.
And Nicole Himskuba Pete says B+. Loved seeing Spock.
Yeah.
For 2 seconds, though, if it's the first part. Only like a split second.
It's just what we needed too in 1991 after learning that Gene died. I mean,
Right.
I was devastated when I read that in the paper. I just couldn't even believe it. Like that's all we had back then. TV, magazines, radio, newspaper.
I heard it on the radio. I heard it on the radio, like, yeah. So everybody got it something back then. Yeah, you know, there wasn't the free flow of info as much. So Toxic Man Flu says C-. Good to see Spock. Crap episode. I am a hardcore sci-fi fan like Asimov, Heinlein, etc. Gene is in the group. He deserves better. No jokes here, just disappointment. Well, I understand.
Oh, love you.
Hey,
TMF.
I totally get you, man.
Yeah, that was a great review. I love that. That was a wonderful review, TMF. Thank you.
We got a big one by Wolfie here. He says rating B+. I'll take just about any Romulan stuff I can get. Spock, Sarek, enough said. I am not sure he would really believe Romulus would be ready to drop their current militaristic lifestyle. Would have been neat if they followed up this on Deep Space Nine. Well, you're talking a lot of second part right there too, buddy. But but I hear you. Lots of really cool Excelsior study models from Star Trek 3 in this. Yeah, I like that. The junkyard. 4 engines. Some best of both worlds wreckage also. Yes. I like that. That was a good part. Lots of really cool Excelsior study models from that was the same one. Okay. I got you. We got to have more reviews, huh?
That's all I've got so far.
Let's see.
I just went to check and see if the chat froze again, but it hasn't. That's it. That's all we have for reviews, boss man.
Well, we'll
Oh
get some.
no! Did you get Wolfie's 3 of 3?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
paying attention. It's just I'm paying attention to
Maybe
three things
backwards.
at once.
That's cool. Let's see. I found him. We'll get him. There could be some more. I know one for sure we didn't get. So probably.
GMF said he stopped watching the show after this episode. Oh my goodness!
Really? Wow.
Holy, yeah. Oh,
There he is.
the caboose is in. Here comes the caboose.
There we go. Oops. There we go. Okie dokie. Mark D with a C, our chief engineer says, what happened? Oh, B minus, Unification Part 1, Force Awakens Spock. Oh, dude. At least we got one line. This diplomatic story doesn't work well, but we did get an emotionally touching scene with Sarah. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Okay, let's see here.
I just wanted to say goodnight. So there's a star from one of our wonderful contributors. Yeah, Brandon, the anime guy. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and for your wonderful super chat and supporting this show. And it was good of you to stop by and enjoyed your company. Brandon says, "Well, all taken off. Live long and prosper." And
thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, and peace and long life, my friend. Peace and long life.
Indeed, and Joel untrue. In my opinion, his death was handled well. And you felt the weight of his passing. True, I think so. It just was said and done it. His death was not unexpected after being diagnosed with a terminal disease. Not enough happened in this episode. With you there, bro. Kind of padded out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There were some good moments on the Klingon ship and junkyard, but I remember the pain of waiting more than a week to actually see Spock see part 2 because I was stuck at a wedding.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's so funny.
Yeah, I hear you, duder. Yep, and it was a pain in the ass waiting a week anyway after we saw that cliffhanger. It's like, oh, you kidding me? We're waiting for Spock. This episode, that episode really aggravated me in a lot of ways because of that. But yeah, so are we going to move on to episode 2 now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go for it.
So I've pretty much read everything that's in the block text, unless you would like me to read that one unread tile, or we can just get.
It's up to you if you think it's something worth reading. You make the call.
Let's see what it says.
Go for it.
Because we didn't read it. So I'm going to read an excerpt from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. And I'm going to read from page 230. So this is the remaining tile. So this would be everything that the block text had to say on these 2 episodes.
Okay.
So let's do it. Of the thousands of story pitches submitted to the Star Trek producers after Michael Piller instituted the spec script program in 1989, the most eminent undoubtedly was the one for Unification, offered up by one of Star Trek's most esteemed players, Leonard Nimoy. How did that come about? It had to do with a matter of timing, as well as my interest in the show, Nimoy said in an interview with Star Trek, the official fan club magazine, in 1994. I was interested in The Next Generation, and at the same time, we were just finishing up principal photography on The Undiscovered Country. I thought that if we could do a TNG episode in which we hinted at the beginnings of a crossover between the original series and The Next Generation through the Spock character and through the backstory of Spock's character, it would be helpful to both. I thought it would be interesting to the fans to see the connection between the 2 stories. It just seemed that it made sense to me to make an appearance at that point. So I went to Rick Berman and Michael Piller and said, how about it? The timing, as it turned out, was useful in several ways. Post-production on the movie took longer to complete than the entire production cycle of the episode. So Unification wound up airing a full month before the release of The Undiscovered Country.
In hindsight, cynical fans might interpret Spock's appearance on the TV show and a tantalizing bit of dialogue in the teleplay that hinted at the film's central plot as an obvious example of marketing for the upcoming release. But Rick Berman, who co-wrote the story for the episode with Pillar, would disagree. It's a validation of our series from the original series, Berman said at the time the episode aired. There had been so much talk about the two series in a competitive way. This is a union, a joining of the two, and that's very positive for the fans. Oh, so I'm actually happy that I read that because yes, not everybody embraced TNG, and some of us still had like I'm smelling a poopy diaper face. You know, the crinkled up nose where you're not sure if you like it or not.
That was one of them.
Yeah. So, I think we have our wonderful bear, another bear.
They're on a Max Amanda bear. Yeah.
Yeah.
A just for Spock and the beautiful Romulan.
Nice. Yeah. So, Cloppy, I'm going to throw it over to you. What did you think of this last tile, this last page? And what did you think of the part 2, the unification 2?
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I remember back then what it was like when you know both were looming. You know, the Trek 6 was on the way, and all the excitement about that, and then we were going to get to see Spock on an episode not too long before it, and you know, reading about different things, how they tie it and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty good stuff. And part 2 I like a lot better. It's just not enough for me, so I have some reservations, but it's again this one especially. I don't know. There's so much of my heart wrapped up in it because I mean, do we get the kind of fulfilling Spock story I would have liked in a 2-parter? No, but when we finally get to see him, he's interacting with Picard pretty well. But the stuff with Spock and Data is pure gold. It's beautiful because these are two such wonderful characters. Getting to meet just for a little bit. They had to kind of soil it a little bit with what's her face.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's to a minimum maybe, but it's still I don't really.
You're going to hear from Sandra and I on that one.
Well, yeah, she believe me, she's I'm not big on again, but the whole thing is, it's still at the it's still not enough, and it's not the story I would. In other words, you're just saying, okay, how about this story for bringing Spock back? I would have personally nixed it. I would have said, I don't want anything to do with any of this story. Let's do something else. I'm not with what they had. They did okay, and like I said, but then again, it's largely because of how great it is to finally see Spock and Data interacting, and a little bit of Spock with Picard and stuff like that. But it's just not a really particularly compelling story for me personally. I'm not like I like Romulans fine as much as the next Trek fan, but in a story like this, and all this, I didn't buy into it either. All that stuff about them believing for a second that there will be enough people that are willing to reunite Vulcan and Romulans, Vulcans with their Romulan cousins, and quite frankly, in a way, it kind of portrayed Spock as naive to actually believe Pardek. And actually, that kind of aggravated me, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah,
I would have done a completely different story.
Yeah, I not only do I agree, but yeah, I also found him like not even acting himself at the beginning of the filming of this episode, and so I talk about that a bit in my notes. So yeah, not only do I agree with you that he's out of character, but I think it's made things worse with the filth people, because the filth people actually cite this in magazine articles. Well, if you want to call them magazines, they're just basically blogs, filth blogs. But in the filth blogs, they use this as like what you need to watch before you watch Poopy Stew in Pea Hard.
Why?
I don't know. They just they think that this is these are the episodes you need to understand what Vulcans are or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how the filth people think. I have them all blocked on the only social media I'm on.
They don't think.
Yeah, so, that's yeah.
So go for the notes then. If you want to read this first, though, you can.
Oh, no, I just thought JT Kirk is he's a good friend and he is very smart and he's a hardcore nerdy Trekkie. So whenever he asks a question, I like to make sure that I bring it to your attention, boss man. And guess who just walks through
Michael
the door?
Beacom.
Good evening, Michael. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, so JT Kirk, if you're participating in a podcast right now and you're not in the live chat and you're not seeing what I've just put up on the marquee, JT Kirk says, Clobby, Raquel, this was 1991. Did this have any context at the time with the collapse of the Soviet Union and the reunification of different peoples across Europe? To tell you the truth, I'm not sure. I really think that this was just a way of bringing in Spock, and and this was just the best way they could come up with doing that. And yeah, I don't really, to be honest with you, JT, I don't have any insight into that. I haven't heard any commentary in that way, whether it's user generated or it's official. I've never read anything about that. Maybe Clobby knows. But thank you for the question, and I love you.
I know very little other than I speculate that it does. I think, just as they took a lot of Star Trek 6 from the headlines for that film and stuff, all out of the newspapers are things going on in current world events at the time. I believe that it did, JT, but it's just it's a belief. Have I sat down and read the interviews of people on staff or whatever that have confirmed it? No, but I think it did.
Yeah. It'd be the teleplay, just so you know, JT Kirk, the teleplay would be Jerry Taylor and Michael Piller. That would be the teleplay for that one.
Yeah. Yep. And they liked the news back then.
Oh, and then he follows up, JT Kirk follows up by saying, thanks, Raquel. I wasn't sure if I was reading too much into it. This is very similar to ST6, and I appreciate your thoughts on the topic. No, you're not reading too much into it because of its ties to ST6. Absolutely. I think you're brilliant, and I absolutely love you. And that is definitely something that should be discussed, should be explored. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get some official commentary on that? So thank you for the question, my wonderful friend.
Indeedishness. So, notes or is this note time?
Yeah, sure. Let's do my notes. Okay, so for Unification 2, I put in my notes, this is not really a part 2 for me. I feel like this is more like an afterthought. So Spock's opening dialogue is weird and unbecoming of him. I don't like that he calls Picard at the beginning, and then all of a sudden he seems to snap into his usual Vulcan ways and then begins to refer to him as Captain. Remember, he's an ambassador. So it's just weird because, Spock is a little bit like me. He always, before he knows someone, he always errs on the side of more formality, not less. So I thought that it was weird that the initial dialogue starts with Picard, and then afterwards he's like, Captain. I don't like the fact that that Spock acts flippant towards Starfleet. So he sort of seems like he's angry with Starfleet, which is weird, and it's just conduct unbecoming of someone who I've loved my entire life from childhood. I know the character, and that's just weird. Data on the Klingon ship presents us with excellent dialogue, perfectly acted by the great Brent Spiner. And I love that the pianist or the keyboard player wants to play the Andorian blues. So in my notes, I wrote Andorian blues, baby. But get it? Andorian blues and Andorian blues. So
I liked her.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Obviously, if you know what I cosplay, you understand why. Andorian blues and Andorian blues. Somewhere Scuba Pete's laughing, and so's TMF. They also love puns the way that I do. That pianist, oh my goodness. I also thought that it was incredibly cool that Riker traded music. He did not have money, so he trades music
as
Yeah.
currency, which obviously, Clobby, I grew up in a band and I'm classically trained from very young because of growing up in that environment. So I think that this is incredible. I always thought that that was incredible. It sort of made this concert band kid sort of feel cool. Although in 1991, I was already a full-blown adult, but you get what I mean. Like when you're growing up and you're playing in concert band and you hang around with a bunch of nerds, this sort of makes you feel cool. It's like you would have currency on a foreign planet. And so I put love, and then I put Sela, and then giant yelling all caps, barf, and I underlined it and put an exclamation point. No superfluous exclamation points, just a giant one. And Worf's song request and his singing. And then I put, because of course I love those moments, those little character moments. And then I put more Sela, now saying the Romulans want to conquer Vulcan. The whole premise of this episode is dumb. We waited all this time and there's no payoff. Sela saying, I hate Vulcans, I hate logic. Also saying she hates long words. I mean, come on. You don't like long words? Give me a break. And then they leave Spock and Data and Captain Picard in the Pro Council's office, not in the bridge.
That was so stupid.
Why would they do that? That's just dumb. And then I wrote in my final not my final comment. My final comment is Data pinch. No, my second last comment is this is the dumbest villain in the history of Star Trek. This is Saturday morning cartoon dialogue and plot. This is crap. Zathras. Crap.
Wow.
That's what I have to say about part 2.
So what is
Lord
your
Spock, you better have my back.
What is your rating of part 2 then?
C+, boss.
C+. Wow. There you go. Well, I went with a B, same as I did for the other part. Just because it's all like one episode to me, and I don't know. I just like some of the stuff with Spock in it, but I can't disagree with anything you said.
You know what I mean? Like we have this big payoff, and we're like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? And then like Denise Crosby strolls in, spinning her little mustache. She actually has a mustache too, so I don't feel bad about saying that. But like twirling her little mean mustache, and then jumps into Pinky and the Brain dialogue. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do next? Well, we're gonna wake up and try and take over the wild. It's like I'm amazed she doesn't use Al Jolson's voice. We're gonna take over the wild. Like no. No!
Oh.
You shall not pass!
Send your ratings, folks, right away. Go for it. Send your ratings for episode part 2.
Okay, so the word has been given by our
Oh,
captain.
yes.
Please, crew, get together your rating and some brief comments so that the captain may address his crew. And thank you so much. Fire at will!
Fire at will. Oops. We'll see. Let's see here.
Okay.
I was starring some. You want to go ahead and
thank you.
start starring them?
I'm on it right now. Sorry, I was just organizing some of my notes. I apologize, boss man.
No, for what? Let me silly. Let's see here. Make sure I got not far back enough. Just making sure I started at the beginning so I can. Okay, here we go. All right, everyone. Here we go. The great Eric K. The bronze wrencher says C+. 1 of 2. Oh, okay, and no, he's multiple stuff. I think it says 1 of 2 only for Leonard Nimoy. 1 of 2. Now, is that even like one comment of part? Now I'm confused, buddy. But we'll see. If you've got any more, I'll get to it. For learning more, I found the script lacking and unbelievable that Spock would not use any logic. Weak story. Spock did not even have the brow ridges. P Hard sucks. That was a roller coaster there, and I'm with you there, buddy.
I love our community. I love our crew.
Let's see here. Raymond says B. Great main plot story. Great main plot story. Spock was epic. Did we have to see the Decker unit with the pianist Malata? Malata. I guess I agree with Sandra. Sela was a waste of film. The best thing to happen was Data neck pincher. Yeah, I like the neck pinch scene. I thought that was funny. The Comic Relief Crusader says B, either B minus, or that's the separator between the B and the Spock. I never am sure about that. Spock is a good example to bridge two opposite cultures and should be a lesson to most of us where name calling and intolerance is rampant today for people of opposing views. Okay, well, I hear you there. Thank you. Let's see here. Zathras says B. No more blonde Romulan. Must have been executed for her failure. Would have been better if Admiral Tomalak was in it. Andreas Castellus, great and beyond the rim now. Hail Andreas. Yeah, Andreas Jakaris. Love him. Thank you, Zathras.
Yes, Zathras.
You rock, Zathra. Mega Cropper says a B. Thank you, Mega Cropper. Let's see here. Snorty says B. The second part suffers from the unnecessary presence of Denise Crosby and Sheila. A role that would have been better served by a more competent character and a better actor. Boy, that for sure.
Love you, Snorty. What a
Yes.
good bear.
Good bear.
Big bear, good bear. Chin screechies.
Yep. Snorty also says, fortunately, it is her last appearance in the role. However, the Klingon opera is a minor triumph in its own right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. To his credit, Patty Sue works well with Nimoy, and their character interaction is one of the things that gives this episode its heft. Data and Spock magic. That I agree with the most, but Data and Spock stuff is what just kind of got to me a little bit. I really enjoyed that. Wasn't enough of it, by the way, by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
What a waste. They wasted a whole episode, but I like those scenes.
Yeah.
It should have been way more.
Yeah, such a good point. I mean, it's such a waste. It's a waste.
Everything about, when you think about it, this episode is a lot of waste. There's a lot of waste. The expression on Spock's face at the moment of mind melding with Picard and the memories left by Sarek is absolutely moving. That was a very touching scene there, Snorty. I'm right there with you, buddy.
Throw that big, handsome bear some Arctic char in that chat, folks.
Let's see here. Lord Thoth, 1 of 12, huh? Okay.
See, he's got the TMF going now.
Yes.
I love it, love it, love it.
See, I'm really disappointed with this ep. I expected more for a Spock story. Absolutely. I loved the stuff with Data, Spock. Sela was okay, but the story was forced. Disappointing. Just kidding about the one.
We know, LT.
Yeah, we got you. We got you, brother. We
got your back, hon.
We reach, brother.
We reach, brother.
Let's see here. Okay. Hungry Boy says, rating B- for the Nimoy and Spiner interaction.
Yeah.
2 of the world's best character actors complimenting each other without upstaging each other.
What a beautiful comment.
Absolutely. So with that, again, that stuff is really just the best stuff in the episode. B from Scuba Pizza's Cowboy Diplomacy. Yeehaw! Love Data helping out in a pinch. Tasha, how many times do we have to kill her off? Just stay dead.
Yeah, don't go away, Mad. Just go away.
Go the hell away.
Bye.
Katman, aka Didi Maz, says, it was okay episode. I give this episode a B+. Thank you, Catman. Appreciate you.
Catman.
JT Kirk says C-. Unification Fart 2. Only a Varul would honestly think enough Romulans would seriously want to disarm with their mortal enemy when the
Yep.
Romulan Star Empire is powerful and arguably at its zenith.
Yep.
True. It's pretty far-fetched, isn't it?
I love JT.
The great toxic man flew TMF buddy says F. I went back a decade later and watched this episode and confirmed my decision to move on from TNG was a good one. I came back for Enterprise, which they also screwed up at the end. Paramount sucks. There you go.
Well, he's got a point.
Would you like to do the honors for our next two wonderful friends?
Starting who we got?
Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Oh, that's another great bear. I feel like Goldilocks, even though I'm a redhead. I love all my bears, all three of my magical bears. Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear, has given us a 3-parter. He says this one's a C-. Spock's presence, yet the poor way he was written into the story makes it almost inarguable that the writers were leaning heavily on nostalgia. Yeah, I agree. That is a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful comment. Oh, good evening, Mr. Grant Gregory. Welcome. 2 of 3, Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear says, the story development and conclusion were lackadaisical. Consider the Romulans had apprehended 3 prime scalps and did nothing to incarcerate them. And 3 of 3. It's ridiculous. And unfortunately is just one of many elements that ruined the episode's verisimilitude. I totally agree. Drop the mic, Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Indeed. Mr. Greg Gregory, good to see you there, brother. Thanks for popping in.
Snortapoopus just called me Ginger Locks and the 3 bears. That's going to stick. I love you, Snorty. Oh, and then now my favorite nerd, our Saturday Night Star Trek, our official communications officer, anti-derivative Jill, marvelous nerd and fellow INTJ. She's giving this one a B, and she's done it in 5 parts. And Jill says, giving Romulans a desire to learn Vulcan philosophy gives a more grounded and realistic appeal to the Romulans. However, I'd rather have Naral to be the main antagonist, but we get Sela again. It's weird that you should say that. We think so much alike, Jill. I think that if they would have allowed Naral to be the one twisting his mustache and allowed Denise Crosby to go get hers waxed, we might have had a great story here. 2 of 5. Anti-derivative Jill says, 3 Vulcan ships, a warbird, and 2K troops seem like a weak invasion. I guess she said she only wanted to become entrenched, but she's also dumb enough to leave our heroes alone to escape. Yeah, and in the most powerful room she could possibly leave them in. It's Pinky and the Brain. Only no brain here. 4 of 5. Spock and Data were wonderful together, as was when Spock refuses to recite the speech, knowing she'll kill him anyway. It's the proud core of him that would not yield, as Sarek said. And in closing, oh, no. I need 5 of 5. Yeah, there it is. It is a standard to not verify the validity of a distress call. I love Data, but the neck pinch is supposed to be possible because of telepathy. I'm conflicted over whether or not this should be possible. Oh, that's a very good point.
Is it supposed to be because of telepathy, though?
I don't know. I would need to verify that. That's actually something I don't know. I don't know everything. I have so much to learn about everything.
But I'll take it from Jill.
That's right.
So there you go. I trust.
Yeah, me too.
She's our communications officer for a reason there.
That's right. So and Wolfie says, nerve.
Another thing that should be added to the point about the idiocy of leaving the 3 of them in a room. Forget the fact that it's not the brig. That was pretty stupid. So the thing is, you don't have to do much with your story if you do put them in the brig, because you have Spock and Data in the same damn brig. They're gonna get out anyway, and you have a chance to have them use their extraordinary abilities. They're gonna find a way out anyway. There's some more challenge and more interesting to the story to have them do that than just leaving them in a room like dumbasses, which was really stupid.
She says, we didn't do them in the right order. Yeah, I got the sense that we didn't do them in the right order, sweetheart.
Oops.
Bossman, can you put 3 of 5 back up? We just sort of got the order screwed up.
I already took them out of the...
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm
We'll get
sorry,
it again.
Jill. I'm so sorry, Jill.
It was an excellent review. I loved it. And look at what she says here. She's got a follow-up comment. I just started. She says, I'll just put it up on the screen so it doesn't get mixed up.
Sorry,
That's
Jill.
what Nimoy said, Raquel and Clobby. It might not be canon. But, Jill, it's a good point if Nimoy said that. If Nimoy said that at a convention or even as an offhanded comment, that means everything. Because, of course, Gene Roddenberry said that Spock was, the character Spock was dependent on Leonard Nimoy's input. So in the beginning, during The Cage, when he's seen smiling, Gene Roddenberry actually said that it was because Leonard Nimoy was incredibly nervous, but it's not like they were going to reshoot it. But then after that, Gene Roddenberry said that he and Nimoy worked together to create this marvelous character. So if Nimoy said it, honey, it's good enough for me, but it might not be good enough for everyone else. You know what I mean? So I love your comments. They're terrific, Joe.
Again, sorry about that, Jill. There we go. J25 said, Commander Raquel, she really does have a mustache. Me trust. Oh, God.
I told you she really does have a mustache. Just go look at pictures.
Eric says, I changed it to one Raquel. I'm not sure what that refers to, but you'd probably do her. So
I'm looking, and whatever has a rating on it, it's going up to the board. Going up to the board.
Let's see here. Michael Beacom says, null. Have not seen this episode for too long to render a valued opinion. I tend to remember unification as one thing, not two episodes. Gene passed away, and it seemed like my beloved TOS was too. I hear you there, man. I hear you there, Michael. Thank you. Phantom Outsider says, B. Even though Selma was a sad villain, I was surprised Data didn't take Sayla back to the ship to help reform her, rather than let her make future mischief sad. Data never used neck pinch again.
Yeah.
True. Let me see if I can find your other one here.
Monkey Jeebus!
Hey, Monkey Jeebus, really? Oh, okay, good to see you there. Good to see you there. Let's see here. As stated before, when Spock said Picard in his way was as stubborn as another Enterprise captain, I thought must be Pike, as Kirk was a dynamic individual. Picard was not so much. Let's see here. Indeedishness.
Anti-derivative Jill's comment was reposted by Mark D with a C, our marvelous chief engineer, and the great and illustrious Snortopupus. So I have started, and I will read that third part.
Go for it.
It's in the start. Would you mind putting it up? I'm just hunting down Phantom Outsiders comments here.
Where is it now?
It's in the start.
Oh, okay. Let me find it.
Sorry, I just had to leave her comment because I had to go and hunt down Phantom Outsiders comments and star them for you, boss.
That one there? Okay.
Let me see if I can
that one instead, right? How about that one?
Hold on. Let me go and
see
it. Let me see if I can go get it. Here we go. I'm just going to show it.
Oh, I see it. I found it.
I'm Snorty. Okay, so it says Snortopupus Cuber on the screen, but this is actually anti-derivative Jill. So Snorty went and found her 3 of 5. And Jill said, I knew they couldn't unify in one episode, but I'd have preferred a more positive outcome and more development with how Romulans have decided to reintegrate Vulcanianism.
Okay,
or volcanism. Sorry, I always use Vulcanian because that was the original. Sorry.
Mark had also found it for us. Thanks, Mark. And
yeah,
Snort.
Nice job.
And Snort, appreciate you. Now, there was something about that's what Nimoy said. You already saw that one, right?
Yeah, I already saw that. I
Okay.
already dealt with that. Thank you, Jill. That was beautiful, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jill. Sorry again for that mix up there. Let's see here.
Okay.
Now that next Amanda Bear says, I give it a B. It wasn't a great episode, but it earned a few bonus points for Spock and the blonde Romulan. Kind of boring and forgettable overall. Thank you, Narat.
Boss man, did you do Phantom Outsider 1 and 2?
I did 1.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let me see.
I've
this
got
other-
I just starred them both because they're really far away from
Okay,
each
there
other.
they are.
Yep.
Let's see. Let me just start over with them then, just to be sure. The neck pinch doesn't require telepathy. It requires greater strength. You can KO someone quickly in the real world by pinching the carotid artery. Sorry,
Yeah,
carotid artery.
that's what he
The
means.
carotid, and stopping blood from the brain. One day I'm going to put this monitor in my face because I can't see anymore. It's not recommended, but it is possible. My grandfather disabled 3 attackers by doing just that, but the man had a steel grip. So, steel grip
Okay.
grandpa. He was the
Well, thank you for sharing.
man with the kung fu grip. Let's see here. Sandra says, C, loved Spock, hated Crosby. It's obvious she hated Star Trek.
Yep.
WTF indeed. Where, were they thinking, I guess, of bringing her on? They brought her back. I'm glad they never brought her back after this.
Yeah, what were they thinking bringing her on? Like, ugh.
Who did she bang the get on the show? No
Yeah.
telling. Kirk would be jealous of Data's neck bench.
Yes. Sandra, you're on fire tonight. Sandra's comments are like, oh, as Mr. Tickletrunk would say, chef's kiss. Mwah! Perfection, baby. Perfection.
See, I don't know anything about the telepathy thing, but it's Jill. Jill might be right. Believe me, I trust Jill. But I could, the one person I could being or whatever he is, he's a man because he measured as one. Person I could see being able to pull one off is Data. So. Kal-El Buddy says, A, Unification Part 1 set up the return of Spock nicely, although we could have shown up although he could have shown up a bit earlier, and it would have been fine since fans already knew that Spock was going to appear. Let's see here. Sarek's death was less impactful than it should have been, but it ultimately did pay off with Picard and Spock's own mind meld later. I did enjoy the conversation on the Klingon ship before. Okay. Yes, I like that bit. Spock and Data, however, and despite its issues, it was an overall enjoyable 2-part episode. Thank you, Kal-El.
Nice. Thank you, Kal-El.
Appreciate you. Great. Mark D with a C, Chief Engineer, says B-. I wish it could have been an A. At the time, I didn't care because Spock lives. Weak story and agree. Spock was out of character at first. Plot holes. How are 3 ships going to take over Vulcan? Yeah, what the? I don't. You got me on that one, man. How is Spock, a famous ambassador, able to walk around freely on Romulus? How can P. Hard take off his ears? I thought that required a surgical procedure.
That's actually true, and that's another plot hole. I probably or detail hole that I should have been able to suss out there, and I didn't. So that's marvelous, Mark, and that is absolutely true. It's supposed to be surgical.
Indeedishness. We did get Data and Spock, a Klingon opera. All is forgiven for this exchange. Data. As you examine your life, do you find you have missed your humanity? Spock, I have no regrets. Let's see here. Data, no regrets. That is a human expression. Spock, yes. Fascinating. I like that whole exchange was a lot of fun. Yeah. So, I believe we've got our. Are we up to speed? Did we get everybody? I don't know if I hope we didn't miss anyone.
All right. Let's do it. Want
to move on to our next and final episode of the evening?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's go for it. The next one is, of course, A Matter of Time.
Dun, 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 dun. Season 5, Episode 9. We all watched this for the very first time on November 18th, 1991. I am going to be reading excerpts, let's stay copyright compliant, from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. Gets a little bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, and the cast and crew of TNG. Please turn your Star Trek hymnal to 235. The crew's attempt to save the inhabitants of Penthara 4 from the devastating after effects of a massive asteroid strike are interrupted by the arrival of Berlinghoff Rasmussen, a purported historian from the 26th century who claims to be studying their era.
But the rather curious nature of Rasmussen's questions about the 24th century and his interest in gathering and stealing technological artifacts from Enterprise make Troy and the others increasingly suspicious of his origins. A Matter of Time marks the second of Rick Berman's 2 scripts for TNG. He also wrote Brothers in season 4 and shared a story credit with Michael Piller for 3 other episodes. I had done a lot of writing when I was working on documentaries, he explains. On The Blue Marble, I pretty much wrote the entire show, and I was dying to get back into writing. It was a little intimidating because I was working with a whole bunch of really good writers on The Next Generation. Berman went through the script process like everyone else. He pitched the concept, then he broke and developed the story with Michael Piller and other writers, and made the changes they suggested too. It worked out nicely, Berman comments. Reportedly, Berman had in mind Robin Williams. Oh, I was going to talk about this in my notes. Yet another celebrity Star Trek fan, or they're all Star Trek celebrity fans. I mean, seriously, I talk about this all the time, and people always say it's only Jolene Blalock. That's a bunch of horse poop. It's all of them. Whenever they're on there, it's like, I didn't get my homework. Anyway, for the role of Rasmussen, but the comedic actor was busy doing the film Hook. Max Headroom's Matt Frewer, known for his performances similarly colored by his off-the-wall sense of humor, won the role.
Yay, Matt.
And, okay, there's an interesting title here that has an interesting title, but I believe it's related. So I'm going to read the title from 233. You ready, folks? Let's do it.
Go for it.
Rasmussen's awe of the painting over Picard's sofa was faked, but plenty of viewers experienced the real thing whenever they saw the work of art on camera. But how did it come to be there? For the answer, you'd need to step back in time to 1987. As TNG sets were being built, Andrew Probert and Rick Sternbach felt inspired. There was a large blank wall over the couch in Picard's ready room. I think it's so funny when people use the word couch, when Americans use the word couch. It sounds like some type of STD that you get. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got the couch. I'm going to go get some antibiotics for it. Do you know what I mean? It's so weird. I understand sofa. I understand Chesterfield, but couch. I got the couch. Anyways, I'm going to keep
one
going.
says Chesterfield. We only say couch or sofa. But
a sofa's fun, but couch. Entertain this idea, folks. Entertain this idea. It sounds terrible. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. So Andy and I approached John Dwyer, our wonderful set decorator, and said, something needs to be put over that couch. See what I mean? Like, what? Put something
sounds
over.
normal to me, but I say it all the time.
You
here.
got Clobby, put something over that couch. Anyways, then we volunteered to do a painting. Typically, captain's offices have some sort of ship painting, Probert said. We thought it would be fun for Picard to have a picture of his own ship. I did the layout, and then Rick painted this killer background. Because he's an award-winning astronomical artist, after he completed it, I painted the Enterprise. Andy did a wonderful rendering of the ship, Sternbach comments. This was while the magic was still being built up at Industrial Light and Magic. We did it in our own time, Probert adds. Each of us took it home to work on. When it was ready, we loaned it to John to put in the captain's office. This was before we had any sort of computers in the office, says Sternbach. So we did it in the traditional media, acrylics and on 8-inch masonite. After the series ended, several companies sold licensed prints of the painting, and General Mills even did a poster to accompany the cereal campaign. The paintings got around, Sternbach said, but I don't believe it has ever been published in a book. That is until now. Oh my goodness. Mark D with a C. Mark, you're present, sir? Can you do me a favor right now? Could you please take a picture of the ship, and we'll put it up on the.
Look, he bought that painting.
Yeah,
he did buy the painting, but this is the first time it's ever been in a book. Mark, if you wanted to take a picture of it, because I know you have the block text, or if you have a picture of the well, you and I both looked at that painting and we were like, ooh, ah. So maybe if you could send that photo to Clobby, we could share it with everyone, because it is glorious. And I'm so glad that I read 233. Oh, what the heck? Oh, there's another one called The Ready Room Fish. Oh, maybe I should read it. Maybe it's got something about how Patty Stew didn't want Livingston to be in the show. Let me read it. Okay, I'm going to read from 234. Berlinghoff Rasmussen took note of another item in Picard's ready room, a saltwater aquarium home to only one resident. Picard never called the Australian lionfish swimming in there by name, yet everyone working behind the scenes at TNG knew his name was Livingston, named after producer David Livingston. Yeah, well, we already knew that. I told everyone that when we started TNG. Reportedly, actor Patty Stew was not fond of Livingston's presence in the ready room. Oh, boo! Boo, boo, poopy Stew. Feeling that using a captive creature as a set prop was antithetical to the series that promoted the dignity of all species. So that dog on the filth then? Aren't you exploiting the dog on the filth, you nincompoop? Yep. Anyway, nevertheless, he spoke of it fondly, if a bit cheekily, on the BBC Cult website. I came to feel very sentimental about the Enterprise sets and the things that went on with them, Stewart commented. Oh, that's a bunch of bull. He just wanted control. Whenever, as it did from time to time, the lionfish in the tank in the captain's ready room died, it was always a sad moment. Livingston didn't start his long swim in outer space. Like many others aboard the Enterprise, the lionfish first flexed his fins on Earth as Mark's tropical fish in Studio City, California. Similarly, Mark Wheats, the store's owner and designer of Livingston's abode in the ready room, didn't start out as the fish wrangler to the stars. During the late 1960s, when Captain Kirk was exploring the galaxy in the original Enterprise, Wheats was touring America as a keyboardist of the rock band Strawberry Alarm Clock. Isn't Strawberry Alarm Clock incense and peppermints ring in my ear?
I think it is.
Okay. Although uncredited, Wheats co-composed their popular psychedelic standard. Oh, yes, incense and peppermints. Yay! I got it right. Which reached #1 on the pop charts in 1967. In his present life, beyond the work he did in TNG, Wheats had designed aquariums for shows such as CSI New York and Hell's Kitchen. Rock on, Livingston! That's right, that's right, that's right! And that, boss man, is finally all the block text has to say about A Matter of Time. Captain, what did you think of the episode, and what did you think of the coverage? Over to you, Clobby.
Well, on the coverage, I did not know that about Robin Williams. I think that's interesting. But I got a soft spot for this episode. I'll tell you right now, I don't care who makes fun of me. I think this episode was fairly entertaining, and I love Matt Frewer. So I've always loved this actor. Not just because of Max Headroom. The guy's always really good. And I kind of, again, what really aggravates me the most about this episode is you set up somebody, once again, who could be a pretty amusing recurring character that you can bring back once in a while. You get him a one-off. You make me, at least, kind of enjoy him, and then we never see him again. Mm-hmm. But I would like to have seen him come back. I think, again, like I said, I don't mind on Next Gen or anywhere else when we get a fluffy kind of, harmless, fun episode, and his performance really makes it that for me. So it's a silly idea. I don't mind that either. If you earn your silly episodes, you're fine. In other words, by doing good quality science fiction most of the time, you can have kind of a fun one with an interesting idea. I always thought this one had an interesting idea, but I think the way he interacts with the crew, he's got some good scenes with all of them. One of the things that kind of aggravated me toward the end was that stupid conversation. I mean, it was interesting, don't get me wrong, the conversation in the ready room between Picard and Rasmussen, but he knew that he shouldn't be asking him to do that. So that was kind of a pointless conversation when Picard brings him into the ready room to ask him to he tells him I understand you can't break the rule, but I need you to break the rule. I need you to tell me what happened in the future. What? Now, again, the fact that they were kind of gullible, listening to, believing that he was just from the future like that, and we just got to, kind of cooperate with him. That's pretty goofy. But I overall liked the episode. Thought it was harmless, silly, fun episode.
Yeah, I actually don't hate this episode either, but I did not like the way that Picard was portrayed in this episode as well, because it's the second time we're left with I believe it's called a lacuna or a lacunae in literary theory. I don't teach literary theory, but I believe so. It's when you lacuna or lacunae is when you leave out information. And so when we have the sex headband from the Love Shack, we don't see Picard using it for the first time and how he's conned into doing it. And so that's out of character. And then here in A Matter of Time, we have him having a ridiculous conversation that he already knows the answer to. And it's unbecoming of his ethics.
And he's pissed off at him for not breaking the rule that he's not supposed to break either.
Yeah. And he's supposed to be the ethical yardstick for these folks. So
Yeah,
I just think
silly.
it's dumb. And Nurat Amaxamandaber says it really wasn't a good aquarium for a lionfish of any kind. I always hoped it went into a 100-gallon or more aquarium when they weren't filming. Well, I would leave that up to the aquarium person who would know what a lionfish would need. It's very important to realize that there are lots of fish that can be incredibly aggressive. And so sometimes you can actually extend their life by not allowing them to become stressed out by leaving them in an open tank or a tank that's near other fish where they would constantly feel that their territory is being invaded upon. Like when you look at Oscars and things like that. And I don't know enough about lionfish. I would need to ask Scuba Pete or someone around me. But just because an aquarium is small doesn't mean that that it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Not all creatures enjoy having a big territory. Like I said, you can actually extend their life by not having them constantly stressed out by protecting a large cage, or in this case, a large aquarium. And Nirat also says, I always hoped it went into a 100-gallon or more aquarium when they weren't filming. But Nirat, I would also like to let you know that there were, I believe, 3 large aquariums in Picard's office. And so we see through several episodes that there are lots of fish and very large aquariums in Picard's office. So it would depend. And certainly there were lots of fish. I just think that Patrick Stewart was, first of all, Gene didn't want him in the role because he had a British accent. He was supposed to be French. Gene was they were trying to convince Gene to jettison William Shatner because he was too old. And yet Patrick Stewart looked older than William Shatner at the time. So these things were not working. So they kept on forcing this issue of having this British guy playing this French guy. And it was aggravating. So when Patrick Stewart was on set, he talked extensively about being annoyed by his costume. He went to his chiropractor and complained to his chiropractor that he wanted a special uniform because Gene's uniform was hurting his back. And he was just doing and saying all sorts of crazy stuff. He complained about certain scripts. Basically, I think he wanted control over the show. And now we see his modern day comments. And of course, we know that is what was happening. He wanted everyone to dress very relaxed, and he wanted he wanted more effing and effing. So fighting and what the other F word is. and that's what he wanted for his character. So he basically wanted to be kind of like a pirate or something in space. And that didn't work. So he just wasn't a good fit for the role. And he made sure that he complained about everything. He wanted a dog on set. And for some people, that's worse than having a fish on set. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. Well, you got notes? You want to do those while we look at these lovely pictures that Mark sent us? Thank you, Mark.
Oh, but our Scuba Pete is here. I just want to show this one thing here. Nirat, that species has infiltrated the Florida Keys and beyond now. They have lionfish roundups to kill them and eat them. Oh, it jumped. Lionfish eat everything. Oh, and he's agreeing with me. He said, yup. And what else? Fairly venomous fish too. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I just think that Patrick Stewart liked complaining. Okay, so here's my notes. Max Headroom takes a role written for Robin Williams, which the block text already talked about. I thought everyone would be excited to learn that from me, but I got beaten to the punch. I had a concert band instructor in the 1980s who loved Jay Chataway. And so we learned a lot of Jay Chataway, and we played a lot of Jay Chataway. In the opening scene, LeVar Burton says that they are already seeing climactic changes. This word refers to plot. Climactic, it like you're talking about the climax. So the word he should have used is climatic, which refers to climate. So a bit of a slip up there by LeVar Burton. This episode won an Emmy for special effects. It's weird that Rasmussen would beam to the bridge with no resistance. And then the ready room. This is dumb. The gullible crew. How were his credentials verified? They didn't exist yet. So at one point, Picard says, we verified your credentials. How? They didn't exist yet. So this is why timey-wimey doesn't work. He has constant and free bridge access at all times through the whole episode. And that's also a little incredulous. And then I said, this is crazy science in the B story. Yeah, so there's some crazy science going on there in the B story. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I mean, I'm not attached to it that one way or the other. I just like Matt Frewer. I thought it was kind of a fun. I remember seeing it when it first came on and finding it to be a lighthearted, enjoyable episode. I didn't really love it either. I just thought it was kind of fun. And again, I've always liked Frewer. And I thought it was at least an interesting idea. Again, a kind of character that I wouldn't mind, like a couple that we've seen, would mind seeing come back, but they never come back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I just wanted to thank Mark D with the C. Mark D with the C, you're a marvelous human being. Thank you. So
well done, dude.
This is the painting over the Chesterfield, over the sofa, or as some folks would say, covering up the couch. And Mark and I love this painting. We really love this painting a lot. So thank you so much, Mark.
Beautiful. Thanks, Duder. Appreciate it. So, yeah, overall, like I said, I found it to be an entertaining episode. I've been well disposed to it. It's nothing great or anything, but I don't mind this once in a while when you have a little fun with one. But a little lighthearted humor never hurt anybody. It's just better than the game, for God's sake, I think. Anyway,
shame, you mean? The shame?
The shame, sorry. What is your rating of A Matter of Time?
I give this one a B-. I think it's pretty good. I'm not angry at it in any way. It's got a few things, wrong with it, but we've got Jay Chataway, and I learned to play a great deal of Jay Chataway in the 1980s. So I love it when they use Jay Chataway, and of course I love Max Headroom. I grew up in the 70s, a teenager in the 80s. And then an adult in the 80s. So yeah, I love Max Headroom. I think Robin Williams would have been brilliant here. I think this is a fun story and a cool idea. And it's great fun. So yeah.
I give it a B. Same deal. I mean, just harmless fun. I mean, it was some goofy stuff, but I actually kind of like that. The way the scene with him and Picard in the ready room, where he was basically out-acts the crap out of what's his face, Patty Sue, to be honest. And he's charismatic, he's funny, and at the end when we find out he did steal that thing from a time traveler. That does kind of fit in Trek later when we have in later, we know that the future generations of the Federation does use time travel to study. And so he stole it from a guy. He's basically from Archer's time period almost, I guess.
Yeah. But why didn't
But,
they? But it would have been great if, like what you were saying, that if they would have brought this back, because the ship is auto-timed. He auto-timed the ship to return to his time, so he could take all of his stolen gadgets and make a profit off of them. So why didn't we have another person come back? Maybe
I
a
would,
different person this time who
right.
also happened upon this ship and found a way to get inside.
Or you'd have found someone who, the people who who have those ships that are sort of, would have tracked it to the Enterprise at that time period and come and arrested him or something like that. Maybe would have been better. But also him running around in the 24th century, like putting in a prison somewhere, then escaping. I don't know, what is something. But again, it's neither here nor there.
Yep.
So everyone, please send your ratings and any comments you may have for a matter of time, my friends.
So the word's been given by the captain. Crew, please respond in kind. Please fire at will. Put up your rating and then follow it with some nice brief comments for our wonderful captain to read. And thank you so much to our wonderful crew for logging their reports. Logging their reports. Sorry, I'm doing 17 things at once on this side.
Exactly, Hungry Boy. He was Booster Gold. Oh, good. Let's see here. All righty. Okay, well, I'll get started while you're doing that then. How about that? Excuse me. J.T. Kirk says, B, ignoring the environmentalism pitch that seems to really swing too heavily for my taste. This episode is a fun adventure. I love that Mr. Woof says phasers were the most important invention. Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
I love JT. Yeah. JT's always got the inside. He's a true Star Trek nerd because he always talks from the inside of the
likes
episodes.
The tech stuff.
I love it. I love JT Kirk for that. He's an honest to goodness, in his bones Trekkie. I could spend oodles and poodles of time with JT Kirk. He's a wonderful person.
Indeedishness. The smarting. Let's see. The smarting was pretty cool in 91. Easy to overlook with today's tech. I know budgets were limited, but this time the pod looks looks made from paper mache, cardboard, and space blankets.
Space blankets. Here, you can cook your salmon in this, or you can do some interstellar travel.
A Robin Williams Gates McFadden scene in sickbay would have been beyond cool. And in general, I think Robin Williams would have stronger acting chops for the specific role. Mm-hmm. R.I.P. Robin. I love Robin Williams, but I think, I don't know. I mean, obviously he'll blow most people away, but I've got to say, I really like Matt Fuhrer. I already said that, didn't I? Scuba Pete says, B+, a funny, silly one, kleptomaniac time traveler. That's right.
I haven't used that word in forever and a day. Kleptomaniac. That's a great word. Love it. Haven't heard it in forever. Love you, Scuba.
Sandra Feliciano says, A, fun episode. Where is the Temporal Affairs unit? Where are they? Mm-hmm. He was the ultimate con man and might have gotten away with it if he hadn't gotten greedy. Would have loved to see him again. I really would have. I mean, I thought it would have been. You could do something.
She's on fire
really
tonight.
Funny. You could do something really funny with him. Yes, she is. She always is. Raymond says B-. Max Headroom playing Cosmic Con Man is gold.
What a great comment, Raymond. Well, that's a fabulous comment. So well wrought.
He was even funny in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Remember that?
Yes, boss man, beg your pardon. Sorry, I have to keep my eagle eyes on the chat here. Eric K just announced that the great Chris Persia, the great wrench from the north, has to call it a night. Kalinita.
Gotcha.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Good night, buddy. Thank you for being here, Chris. We appreciate you, brother. Hungry Man says B+. Ever since Max Headroom, I've been a Matt Frewer Matt Frewer ho. I'm sorry. Well, my needs were few. Lol. I swoon over character actors. Yeah. Mega Cropper says B. Thank you, Mega Cropper. Appreciate that. Michael Beacom says C-. You get Matt Frewer as a guest, and this is the best you can do. The fact that PM Block dedicated more pages to paintings and fish as set dressing than this episode tells you a lot. That is
What a comment.
good pernt there,
What
Michael.
a comment. Love you, Michael.
Yet another attempt to recapitulate Harry Mudd. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why do writers keep wanting to have starship captains meet lovable comment types? If you ever want to check the verisimilitude of a TNG episode, find the next part. Just transfer it to happening on a current day aircraft carrier. If it sounds ludicrous, then it is a TNG. It is a TNG too. Giving a castaway full run of the warship without security escort or restriction. Well, after all the security screw ups in the game, I mean that nothing should surprise you. Lord Thoth says C+, not great, not bad, an interesting story, great guest star. Yes, sir, I'm with you there. Yeah, Amanda Bear says this episode was great. So much hijinks and tomfoolery. I give it an A. Thank you, Narat. The great Chris Persia, who we just said goodnight to there, says B- for me. And with that, I bid you all good night. Have a great weekend, y'all. You too, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for coming
so
tonight.
much for being here, my friend. Snortiness says X. I have to admit to being biased against most stories involving any form of time travel, so I couldn't bring myself to rewatch this, and I don't remember much about it. No rating. Well, he is quote unquote from another time, but that's not. They don't really travel through time or anything like that. With like creating paradoxes, but I hear what you're saying. And Trek does have like an established thing with time travel, whether you. But let's see here. Is that all we got so far? Let's see. Eric K says, B, Matt Frewer, love Canadian actor Matt Frewer. I do not know if I was watching Max Headroom or the leader. Yeah, he did do the voice of the leader. Wow. Did he do the voice of the leader? Did he do the voice of the leader or the goblin, dude? Agreed, Clobby. We could have the next Harry Mudd recurring character. Yeah, I mean, he could have come back, but he's not, I don't know. What do I know? Phantom Alt Schroeder says B. So remember, Rasmussen was from the 22nd century time. From the 22nd century. Time machine was 26th actually. We have a surplus of abandoned time machines where here in NJ we just ignore them. Time traveler mugging our cottage industry in NJ. Let's see. Odd, there was no mention of Tom Baker being on the first list for the role, was he? But of course, Tom would have gotten away with it because Tom Baker. Also, he'd have gotten them all hopped up on jelly babies. Is that true that Tom Baker was mentioned for this? Man, that would have been.
I don't know. All I know is that it was written for Robin Williams.
Okay. Wow. I'm seeing 2 and 3 of Kal-El. So is there a first one out there?
I'm looking. There it is.
Oh, we got it. Good. Cool. Oh, cool. Thanks. There we go. A- for Kal-El. He says, I enjoyed the premise of the episode and it was entertaining overall. Matt Frewer's performance was great. One can tell that he really seems to be enjoying himself here. Could be. The fact that Picard and the professor debate the ethics of interfering with the timeline's natural course of events was interesting, but no doubt sparked numerous ethical discussions. Regarding the hypothetical situation afterwards amongst fans, okay, the discovery of the professor's deceit and thefts by the crew and how it was dealt with was a satisfying conclusion. Well, there you go. Thank you so much there, Cal. And we have Jill and then ED, if you would do the honors, number one.
Let's do it. Anti-derivative Jill, our communications officer. She says this is a C. She said, I didn't have time to rewatch. The time traveler is given free rein everywhere, with the crew not finding out his motives until the end. Also, there's an unrealistic correction to an atmosphere. Very
I don't
nice,
know.
Jill.
I don't know. ED.
ED, Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear. He's got a two-parter, and he's giving this one a C-. He says, stealing stuff to take back to the 22nd century seems a pretty daft tactic, given
Yes.
the immense value of the information Rasmussen has access to on the Enterprise. Yeah, I would want to win the lottery, not like invent the television remote. 2 of 2. This was just one of the many strange inconsistencies within the story. It was enjoyable enough, but the story was not very well thought through. I totally agree. And I love your comments as per usual.
Of course, it could be kind of the thing where if you bring back too much in that little bitty thing, if you try to take too much stuff out of there, you're going to get nailed. And he thought he was playing it safe. I don't know.
Yeah, but Enigmatic
He
Drop
could have
Bear.
brought information. He could have stolen some information, which we don't. Well, I guess he didn't, but we don't know if he did or not. Like if he stole a tricorder or something,
Yeah.
and downloaded a lot of the ship's what he could get out of the ship's memory on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Well,
Security
that's a way of thinking about it, isn't it, Clobby?
But security's so lax. I mean, after seeing the game, you can get away with anything in this show.
Yeah, exactly.
So he might have been able to pull it off.
Here, have a sex headband. By the way, we're invading you.
Steal a comm badge, bring it back. Yeah. Tom Baker, DD. Yeah, Tom Baker would have been interesting. The Doctor, highly adept at leaps of logic. I love him. Anybody else? I know we're missing one so far. What happened to the great? Maybe. Where is he? I know we're missing the caboose.
We are.
We'll give him a second. He's got time. Don't stress it. Don't stress it, Mark D. Just put that up there when you can, bro. He has time. Ooh. He doesn't matter.
Great comments, everyone.
Time. Yes,
impressive comments, each and every one of you. Impressive comments, impressive reviews, just absolutely outstanding. You guys are always bringing your A game, and I appreciate it so much. I love these wonderful conversations.
Mark D is in there. I don't know if he wrote a review.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
There he goes.
It's been doing this all night. It's sort of burpy hiccups.
Oh, okay.
The chat's burpy hiccupy tonight.
Gotcha. Okay. It's been a long time since I've seen this episode, but I remember enjoying it, even though I despise most time travel stories. If time travel is so easy, would the universe have any stability? No, unless you're the Time Lords, and theirs doesn't wibbly wobbly also. So, no implications for getting stranded in the 24th century. Call me the Time Variance Authority. Oh, God. Yeah, that's Marvel stuff. I don't need that. Maybe Christopher Lloyd. Maybe Christopher Lloyd should have said, "Next time I'm sending you back to the future."
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. Imagine if they would have, brought back TNG and somebody would have written that story. Mark D with a C. Your brain is a marvel. I just absolutely love that. Wouldn't that have been incredible? That would have been such a great story.
Absolutely. Michael Beacom says, I hated whenever TNG dabbled in time travel casually. McCoy goes back in time and destroys the Federation by crossing the street, but this guy is going to take tech back 200 years. Oh, yeah.
Michael.
I guess I
think the same thing too, Michael. That's why I gave it a B-. I mean, it's a cool story, but it's got some raspberry moments in it.
Yeah, I got you. No, I hear you. Thank you, Michael. But yes, I believe we got that one. I believe we got them all.
Yeah.
I believe we handled another week full of episodes there. I don't know what's next, but I don't know which episodes are next off the top of my head. Oh, look! As soon as I say that, are wonderful.
She's always prepared.
Officer. Yeah. Thank you, wonderful communications officer Jill. Appreciate it. She says. Episode 10, New Ground. Episode 11, Hero Worship. Episode 12, Violations. And episode 13, The Masterpiece Society. Thank you so much. You are fantastic, Jill. Absolutely-ishness. I guess.
Oh, wait. What's going on here? Wolfie 762 101 rating B+. What's going on here? I just starred that. Yeah, something's going on with the
chat. Did we miss some or whatever? Okay, I thought I read Wolfie. No, maybe not. Okay, let's see. The Star Wars Cantina was cool. Spock doing Spock things with Data is pretty fun. Using the holodeck tech, make the room smaller so you can hide the wall is pretty slick. Okay, I don't know how we missed that one, but and that was from Wolfie. Sorry, Wolfie. Sorry, Wolfie. I don't. But thanks. Our chief engineer never lets us down.
Nice.
I need more Wesley. I do need more Wesley. You're right about that.
We're just taking out the trash in this chat. I just want to thank all the wrenches for taking out the trash. I just want you to know on this side, I am reporting each and every one of these trashy bots. And thank you so much for being so quick on the draw. Eric K, Anti-Derivative Jill, Lord Thoth. You guys rock the Casbah. I love you so much. Thank you. You guys are just nailing it.
Hey, Grifter, that's cool. Well, dude, we would love to have you on board. So if you got to catch up. That'd be great. But yes, I think you're right. You're right. I need a lot more Wesley in my life.
You kids have certainly wound up all the loose ends in this case. Blasted meddling kids.
I wish she didn't have to go.
I fully endorse the clips from my video being used in this way.
Yes.
Mark D with the C. I doff my cap to you, fine sir.
Well, see, yeah, you'd like time travel then, wouldn't you, Snorty? Like you said, a fully supported time travel episode where they go back in time and make sure Wesley Crusher is erased from the time. Now, there's some good time travel we could all get behind right there, my friends. $5 super sticker from our wonderful communications officer. Thank you so much. You were too kind, Jill. Love you.
It's a cute little thing that looks like a pear, and it's dancing around with a little noisemaker in its mouth. It's adorable. Anti-Derivative Jill, thank you so much.
I can't see it from this end, but thank you. Thank you so much. You are the best. She is a great communications officer.
She is.
Appreciate you, Jill. Thank you so much.
And one of the fastest guns in the West.
Indeed. Well, before we say our good nights to everybody, I want you, if you would, Raquel, please tell everyone about your wonderful works of fiction that is science or science fiction, and where they can grab it. And we'll do show notes, and then we'll say our goodbyes.
Oh, Hungry Boy says that the little character is called Peppermint Schmoo. That's so adorable. I love it. Thank you so much for allowing me to use your space to promote myself, Clobby.
It's our space.
Yeah, but it's unbelievably kind of you. Folks, I write science fiction short stories. You can buy them on Amazon. Just look up RM Briggs. They're only 74 cents each. I'm an independent author, and I could sure use your support. If you like The Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits and maybe some Philip K. Dick or Edgar Allan Poe, it's that style of science fiction. And as I said, I would really appreciate your support. And thank you to everyone who has already purchased the stories and left remarkable reviews that have touched my heart. And really, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, number one. We love you, and just you're the best. And I thank everyone for helping the support with that. Let's see here. Monday. Oh, before that, tomorrow. I don't have a picture for it, but tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday, tomorrow. I will be on the Great Culture Casino Show as his guest, and I'm very honored that he asked me there. He's a great fellow and a really cool YouTuber, and I'm honored. Hello there, Tyrell. Oh, got here late, but at least you're here. It's good to see you. Always a pleasure to have you pop in, sir. Yes, I will be on there with Culture Casino tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then tomorrow night on Mark D with the C's late night Sunday night geekery, I'm thinking we're on it. I'll be on there with him if I'm able to be there, as always, as he knows. So there you go for that. Well, thank you, Eric K. Appreciate that. There's a link in the chat. Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. And then let's see here. Well, of course, Monday night, Mark C. Comic Talk. The great Mark D with a C joins me for a Clobby's Classic Comics review, at which we will be reviewing the classic extraordinary Marvel 2-in-1 annual number 7, featuring the Thing in this corner and the Champion in the other. It's going to be a sensational match, the biggest since Ali Frazier. Sorry. Okay, I got a little stupidly carried away. Sorry. All right, anyone?
Jill and I love it. Jill and I absolutely love it. When you do Howard Cosell.
It's just easy to do because I know it annoys Dandy Don Meredith and Frank Gifford. So they said it ignores them.
I love it when Hungry Boy calls you Clobby Cosell. Clobby Cosell.
Well, let's say our good. We appreciate you all so much for being here. And for those who don't know, we like to say shout you out when you arrive and say goodnight to you. And give everyone a shout out when it's time to head on out. So thank you so much for being here. Let's see, the Comic Relief Crusader. Thank you.
Good night.
Have a great rest of the weekend. The wonderful Felicianos, Raymond and Sandra. Thank you.
Outstanding tonight. Just a wonderful, wonderful commentary. Had me in stitches. So insightful. Just you guys were such great company tonight.
Indeed. Dragon Master 360. Thank you. Snorty Poopers.
Cuber.
I can't get enough of it ever. James Caserta, thank you for being here tonight. Avon lives and long live the Legion and great Lord Thoth, brother.
And Mrs. LT as well. LT.
And Mrs. LT.
We love you around here. Nice to see you. Thank you so much.
JT Kirk says there once came a man from the future. He came to watch the Enterprise act as a planetary suture. He was really a klepto, wasn't trusted by Counselor Cameltoe, never did give the doctor a smoocher. Oh, I may have to report you to Max Redstone on that one.
Outstanding, JT.
Well done, JT. You're the man. Mr. Angel, I think Mr. Angel had to run. The chef, great, but we appreciate you.
Night, chef.
Rudy was in here at the beginning of the outset of the show. Rudy, thank you so much. Phantom Outsider, buddy. Thank you, bro.
Comments.
Thanks for being here, man. J-Man, I'm sure J-Man's probably retired for the evening, but always good to see you here, brother.
Don't forget to follow him on YouTube.
Please follow J-Man and subscribe to his channel and watch his great shows. Sakras, always a pleasure.
Crap.
But a pleasure nonetheless. The great D-Bud Martin, the man of iron.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
The beautiful and the lovely Sherry.
Yes, beautiful lady, sweet person. I'm so happy you stopped by tonight.
And I didn't miss that name that you came in with at the beginning, Sherry. I don't know if you're still here, but you actually came in with the name Sherry the Sadist, and you changed it back to the other one. But she did. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding up.
Sherry the cutest?
I don't know, but I like that. You know, she must have been using that for another stream, calling herself that. But Sherry, love you. Great to see you.
Yep.
Kal-El, buddy, always a pleasure. Great Superman.
Yes, he is the real Superman, Kal-El. Thank you so much.
And they call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete! And Leslie and family. The Pete's. They all scuba. Love you, Scuba Pete and family. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Indeed. Chris Persia had to run, I believe. It's always great shout out to our good buddy Chris. Thank you, man.
Fulaki, Kalanikta, Evaristopoli. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
What she said. Another great bear, the enigmatic drop bear. ED, thank you. Thank you. Indeed, yes. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, outstanding comments tonight.
Your Muslim uncle. Thank you, buddy.
Yep, wonderful. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Yet another of our three bears, Nerat and Amanda Bear. Thank you.
Great conversation tonight. Thank you so much, Nerat. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. Matt G, thank you so much for being here.
Good night.
The great bronze wrencher, Eric K. Eric K, always a pleasure, buddy. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Good night,
Aaron
sweetheart.
Baker, thank you.
Good night, Aaron.
Gen Xer, thank you.
Good night.
The great Dadman clan, Dadman Walking, Mrs. Dadman, and all of you. Thank you so much. Shout out to you.
great family. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend.
TMF, Toxic Man Flu. Thank you so much, my friend. You were amazing as always.
Yes, and for the super chats and just being you. You're wonderful company. And not a lot of people realize this, but Mrs. TMF tunes in with TMF often. So I don't
Oh,
want to leave her out. So to
no.
the
Yeah.
TMFs, I say
Yes.
have a lovely evening, you beautiful people.
Mrs. Indeed. Mrs. TMF. Wolfie. Our old friend Captain James T. Skywalker popped in for a second. Hail there, sir.
Good night.
Mark Leseth, or Lerseth, sorry. I'm sorry I messed that up, but thank you for being here.
Good night.
Obviously, our we can't go without saying something to our wonderful crewman, the great Chief Engineer Mark D with a C, and our wonderful Chief of Communications, Anti-Derivative Jill.
Outstanding. I doff my cap to you.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for you both. Thank you.
Both are amazing. D. Oberg popped in, brother. Always good to see you. Thank you so much. And I don't know if how you're feeling right now, if you're even hearing this, buddy, but Steve Mitchum, we're all here with you, buddy. We're all with you. We love you, man, and I hope you're feeling better. Please get well soon. And big love from the clobberers to you, brother.
Yeah,
hey,
that's
everyone.
true. If you would like to
put an S in the chat, if you would, please.
Yeah. If you just want to put a Steve Mitchum hug in the chat, I know that he would probably really, really like it, and it would raise his spirit because he is a very important part of this community. So go ahead and throw a Steve Mitchum, an S or an S and M, whichever one you want to put in there, and show Steve support. Oh, look at them all flowing in now. I love this community. You guys are such wonderful friends. Thank you so much.
Oops, what happened to my chat here? Oh, here we go. All right, where are we at? All right. Mazerus, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yay, Mazerus. Have a good weekend.
The Catman, aka Diddy Myers, thank you.
And your wife. Send her our best. I hope she's feeling better, and it was very good to see you. Thank you so much for supporting us, Catman Boo.
Catman, yes, indeed. I hope the missus is doing better. Cheers to her. Grifter, thank you. Grifter, thank you for popping in again tonight, and it's good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you. Keely Chow, roll tide, my friend.
Evening.
Mega Cropper, thank you as always. Good to see you. The great JT Kirk, yo, bro. Thank you, buddy.
Yes.
He is one of the greats of all time. What a fantastic, amazing friend. Hungry boy, or hungry for common sense and comics again as well. My friend, it does my heart good every time I see you pop in to join us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, buddy.
Agreed.
Take care. Mr. Tickle Trunk, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you.
I love Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Indeed. Claude was here.
He was. I think that's so cool. It's a great honor whenever one of your real life friends shows up here. So thank you so much for being here, Claude.
She said that, not me. Brandon, the anime guy. I think he had to bolt, but thank you, Brandon. Appreciate that. And thanks for
night, Brandon.
J25, thank you so much for being here and your contributions. It's good to see you.
Also, Brandon, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that you sent us a couple of.
He did. He's gone. He left though. No?
Thank you so much for that. If you're watching this on any type of rewatch, really appreciate it. It's very kind of you.
Very kind of you. Thank you so much, buddy. Michael Beacom, thank you for being here. Appreciate you so much. He stopped in to say hello, at least, Mr. Grant Gregory. Don't know if you're still out there, brother, but hey to you out down under. Good to see you. Monkey Jeebus, good to see you, buddy. Thank you so much. Jeebus! Cool, Catman. Thank you so much. And of course, finally, Tyrell72. And we always appreciate seeing you pop in, Tyrell. Thank you so much. Oh, that's okay for sure, Grifter. Thank you. Definitely say hi over there. It's a great pleasure to see you all. Thank you so much. What a wonderful night it has been. Again, we will be here next week. Same Trek time, same Trek channel. Talking 4 more episodes, reviewing 4 more episodes, and in our ongoing journey and our ongoing mission to review all of real Star Trek 66 through 05 only. So, my friends, please have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Mhm.
And we'll see you hopefully on the videos and the streams. Thanks. And well, I'll just say now it's clobber on, clobberers, and big shout out to one wonderful first officer for this amazing intro, outro, and the great Mark D with the C for helping us get it here. Have a great one.